blowing up these mute jammers, and the thermite, exothermic charge will immediately go down, get resolved. Now Mahi from this position is going to be hugely important to how they're going to push on in here. Whether they can find these opening frags as they move on in is going to decide the round. Mahi needs a way to kind of determine that though, and some of this utility going towards them makes it a little bit more difficult. Lane as well, looking to try and nade out the person at half wall, does get it. Nice play there from the sledge. And well, that'll be that man advantage. Swansea looking to try and take it from here, as they have really brought their A-game on this offense. However, talking about Mahi just a second earlier, found that first frag. C4's coming in. It's a little bit late, unfortunately. Doesn't actually find anything, but they do still know that Mahi's behind here. Actually going to move, and at the exact moment, Jake rushes on in, finds the frag, and now opens up the site for the rest of the team. Is even going to go for a diffuser plant. It's risky, but it just might be the call. As Jake's going to go for that. See some nades come on in. Bog Boy with good coverage. Good spray through the wall. It's sad to see. Hog does manage to deal with one of them. Heading back up to this position. See him go down. The diffuser is down, but it isn't planted. It's 2 versus 2. The defending side really showing up here. After what seemed like a terrible position from them. Here we see Hog getting very aggressive now. Finds the first frag, looking for something more. The C4 does not land. Tries to get the pre-fire. Hog goes down to little to no HP. Lane is down on the ground. There's the drone. Trying to bait something out. Trying to make that pre-fire. Doesn't get anything. Spray something. 13 seconds. He's actually going to get their teammate up. The good spray there is from Jazzian, but the opposing side is there. The diffuser is going down. They're waiting for the timing. Nice spray there from Lancaster. And they pick up round 10 to move themselves to 6 points. They could still close out this map without going to overtime. They've got some leeway as well. This is definitely down to the wire. A little bit of complaining in chat. It's like, man, I really wish I got that. But unfortunately, you saw some really clutch play there from the defense to just about win that out. Jazzian, absolutely fantastic on this mute. Very skillful indeed. And we're going back to this vigil that I do genuinely really rate in this position and against any of these high-level teams. Looking to see how it'll be put to good use, as they don't 6th pick away from it this time.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I am looking to also see how they're going to kind of function without any method to close down some of those walls, because this mute really just has not been working for them in the same way. So I'm interested that they're continuing to go for it. Something like the Kaid, which we actually saw from Swansea, I think would be more useful here. So it's interesting to see their kind of dedication to something that doesn't feel like it's particularly working very well.
5 seconds to go.
Gonna hopefully get things... Oh, Mahi. We'll change that shotgun, open up that wall so people can kind of make their moves between sites. Mahi potentially going to play down here. The Pest, talked about it before, very, very valuable. It's not only a -1 for your opponent, it makes it +1 for you, which is like that big 2 kind of positive for your team. And bringing so much vision, again, to be talked about how key it is to some of these teams' strategy, and hopefully we'll be able to see that here. Lane opens up that wall yet again, trying to make that play. Holding the angle, making sure no one's going to be able to do that run out, which we have seen a couple of teams do before. The frag grenade's about to come on in and deal with that mute jammer. Pretty much as per usual, the thermite will resolve that charge on the wall. The big opportunity, as they have opened it. 2 minutes left on the clock. A very, very early opportunity. And Skilt's now going to move towards the back here. Just willing to give that up. It's only coach who's kind of in this situation to deal with anything that comes. Waiting on the stairs. They're giving up most of this top floor for free, which is a very interesting thing to see. Normally, you do not see teams just give up one site. Give up the top floor. It definitely is strange to see. I do like that Plebsy is going for this roam, though, and from a team that actually hasn't been roaming much, and when this Nomad hasn't been particularly valuable, it might finally come into its own. Depends on whether Plebsy is watching properly, though. Looking out for them. Lane now able to open up Armory and really set up, for example, for holding, making sure that you can't rush on into the site, but not respecting the fact that Bugboy can also shoot from below. This is looking good for that Lancaster side as they pick up a couple of kills early on here in situations which they really shouldn't be allowed to have them. It's looking like they could just close out this map 7-4 right here. 45 seconds on the clock, and even after being gifted the top floor, Swansea unable to do anything in this round. Pilot trying to make sure no one's looking for that flank. It's aware that they have a vigil, so it's a little bit more worried about Hog as well. But I don't think they have the time to really play this passive. 20 seconds on the clock. The C4 comes out, doesn't quite land. Hog looking for an opportunity to just rush on down. Deals with one of the pests. Hopefully there won't be so much pain in the ass. Nice drop down there from Hog. Takes one frag. Edging ever closer towards winning this round. Hog does find another, but unfortunately the rest of their team and they are executed on the spot. And Lancaster pick up map 1 7-4. Absolutely fantastic so far from the Lancaster side, proving why they are this kind of top team in University Rainbow Six Siege at the current moment. And you know, I am excited to see how we're going to be moving on through this. Obviously, the next map is going to be Cafe. And then if we get there, because Lancaster might win on that, we will be going to Club as that big decider. These games, of course, were brought to you by Republic of Gamers and Intel. Check out our Discord, discord.gg/the NUEL, to find out about unique events that you can get involved with at your university. Apologies again for all of these technical problems. We are rushing to try and get them sorted where we can, but Discord's been having some issues. We had some Twitch issues as well, and we'll hopefully get them sorted. And we will see you just after the break.
ונזכר בלילות הקשים וכולם מחפשים לעשות, להרשים, לגלות, להגשים, להאשים ועושים המון רעש יחסית לאנשים אבודים בחלל. זום אאוט, מבט מעל, מבין שהלבד שלי הוא לא לבד כלל. דלתות צדדים, כתות שבטים, אורות שלטים, מרוב פחדים שכחתי שאני מסוגל ליהנות מהנוף, מהרייד האינסוף לפניי. אני לוסט, אני בוס, אני פה, אני חי, וואלה קים זמן טס, אז רק פרסט קלאס כמו זיק סטארדסט. אני שם גז, ביי מבולבל, מולדים, מאופן, מי יגיד, אם בכלל כולנו עבודים בחלל. לפעמים זה לא קל, אל תרגיש כעולה, בוא איתי, היא חבל. כולנו עבודים בחלל. עוד אומרים שיודעים מקום ולא מודים עדיין, כולנו עבודים בחלל ושוב רבים על בית, מוצא דת ימין או שמאל, אז בוא נרים לחיים. כולנו עבודים בחלל, כולנו עבודים בחלל, כולנו עבודים בחלל, כולנו עבודים בחלל, כולנו עבודים.
يا حبيبي لا تهون نشرب قهوة في يوم I'm stuck in my bed. I'm not tired, I'm trying to find out what's wrong. Time has passed on without a call. It feels too weird to ring up. I had cashed out by feeling love. Too soon to care, to keep up. I'm so far up in hush, ignored for a reason. So hard to please, a state of mind. I'm trying, I'm in no rush. So hard to please, a state of mind. I've been out falling in touch. I'm doing my best to connect to those that I've lost. My guilt is intense, but I'm going to force myself to push on. Time has passed on without a call. It feels too weird to ring up. I had cashed out by feeling love. Too soon to care, to keep up. I'm so far up in hush, ignored for a reason. So hard to
Welcome back to the Overwatch. Sorry, not the Overwatch. The Rainbow Six University Siege League, brought to you by Republic of Gamers and Intel. Sorry, I have messed that up completely. Welcome back to the NUEL University League. We are. Wow. Okay. You know what? You know why you're here. We're here for some Rainbow Six. We've got Lancaster versus Swansea. We finally have my dear friend Benny Hal back with you. It's been a long day. We've had lots of issues. I messed up, and you know who else messed up? Swansea. They did not manage to. They had a couple of good rounds on the comeback when they were moving into that kind of attacking side, but it all fell apart right at the end there, and they couldn't quite bring it together.
Definitely saw that too. I watched a bit of the gameplay, watched it from my feed as well, and yeah, unfortunately Swansea on their side, they had a lot more difficult time on their attack and defense, and they really couldn't pull it together, especially against the defense of Lancaster. Surprisingly, Mir wasn't played as often too, which is really interesting to see. But both teams, good try. We'll see how we go to the next site, the next map. Is it gonna be Cafe? Actually, is it gonna be? Is that what we're seeing here?
Yes, it's. Let me just check. I think it's Cafe. No, it's it's Cafe, and then the club decider. I said that before the break. Remember?
Okay.
I think Cafe will be kind of fun to see between these teams, and I think this is not great for Swansea, in my opinion. I think Lancaster have a really nasty Cafe. So I look at that and I go, things not looking so great for your Swansea here. And I actually think Swansea have a pretty good border. So if they weren't able to really hold a candle on there, we could be looking at a 2-game series, which obviously I don't want to happen, but it's looking likely.
So Border was Swansea's pick, apparently, according to our producer. So now that's a big issue now is the fact that if Swansea's pick was Border, and they lost that 7-4 to Lancaster, and Lancaster's pick was Cafe. Cafe being defense-sided, so Swansea at least had the side pick. They'll probably pick defense most likely. I'm thinking they're going to pick defense on Cafe. So we're hoping here Swansea takes the initiative, takes momentum, is able to bring them into their attacking rounds and win that map out. But, anything can happen. That's what we're thinking would be good here for Swansea to make it to map 3, which is Clubhouse.
Yeah, I have to say, momentum. And I know it's such a buzzword. I hate using it. But with Swansea, I think it's actually really relevant. Because when they get the momentum, if they take the first couple of rounds in a map, I look at them and go, actually, I really do think they're going to do well. Because they often take time to warm up. And we saw that because we saw some fantastic rounds from them in the second half. But a little bit less in the first. This is the kind of situation which you have. So if they're taking those early rounds, they're looking really good because they're even beating you before they've gotten to that point where they really start showing up once they've kind of digested some of your strategy, and it doesn't bode well for you at all.
Yeah, very true. It's again, the Siege is a game of adaptation. It's a game of figuring out how your opponent plays, and the less momentum you don't have, and the times you don't take that initiative, you don't take that exactly. You don't take that time to really take the exploit or the opportunity to do well. That's when you start to fall apart. And so hopefully Swansea aren't getting complacent, they aren't falling behind, they aren't losing that momentum or that mindset to keep playing, is what I'm saying here at this point. As we go to the next map, let's get it going, guys. Looks like both teams are ready to go, so we can get restarted, and we'll see how we do here on Cafe.
Yeah, no, I'm very much excited to see how this is going to go through. We should be in the game in just a sec. We're just having some issues with some players, so should be getting that resorted as soon as they possibly can. But I am really interested to see what bans, as you say. I expect something along the lines of we've been seeing a lot of kind of preference toward these stature bans recently. So how do you feel about that? Because that obviously that started off in South America, and we're seeing it become more commonplace. Yeah,
I agree. Definitely, it was definitely one normal thing in LATAM. Previously, like a season ago, it started to happen more and more, and now we see it more often in many other places, especially the EU now as well. So it's not like it's interesting to see because it's not like you can get around a Thatcher ban. It's a big thing. Like even on this map too. Like it depends on what map you're on. If it's Clubhouse is probably the worst part to see a Thatcher ban because that's where Kaid can be that much more powerful. But on a place like Cafe or Border or maybe Coastline, like it's not as crazy. Not really.
Obviously not. But we do see it banned straight away as Swansea take that off the table. Interested to see what kind of bans are looking at. Because we didn't see Mirror banned away last map, so I'm just going. Yeah. Do we see Mirror again?
I would think Mirror should ban this time. If they see Mirror this time, Mirror is going to be really annoying for the attackers.
I mean, it wasn't particularly impactful in the previous map, so you might not have seen those rounds. We do actually see it a couple of the rounds. For those of you, obviously you didn't get to see it because it wasn't streamed because you were having issues, but it wasn't super impressive. Now, this Blackbeard is very interesting to me because Lancaster have used it before themselves. So I'm surprised that they're not trying to play it themselves because I think actually they play around it better than Swansea do.
You didn't see Swansea play Blackbeard much at all, and then this map, it's not like Blackbeard is not useful, but it's not nearly useful as say Clubhouse on Border or on a different map like Consulate. But like on a map like Cafe, there's not as much window play, so I don't see the ban for that. Mirror being banned out makes sense here. Cafe that much more powerful, even though Swansea tried to use it last round, they didn't use it very well last time.
Do you see it banned out? I expect to see the classic either Echo or Maestro here. So anyway, which one do you think it's going to be?
I would think it's going to be the Echo most likely at this point.
Yeah, I think the Echo makes a lot of sense taking it away. I think generally it's a little bit more powerful as well. In Plantinal, we've been seeing a lot of these rounds go down to the very end. Though Swansea will take away that Maestro. They don't like the Elder, they don't like the Evil Eye, don't like being watched from afar like that, so it will be taken off. I want to see something I mentioned while you were unfortunately incapacitated by lack of Discord, was IQ. And I actually want to see more IQ because I think Lancaster are really good with things like the Mozzie and with the Valkyrie. So either picking up the IQ to deal with it and on the other side, where we've been actually seeing a lot of these other things like the mutes. We've been seeing, and now we're seeing echo. I do like to kind of have a situation where you can deal with those much more easily.
It's so interesting. I actually been watching recently where other games I've been casting and playing as well. Actually, the yokais are more visible as of this patch too, which is interesting. So I've seen teams actually able to get rid of the yokais without needing an IQ, which it's still a bait. It's still easy to get rid of IQ or get rid of the yokais with the IQ on the board with the electronic scanner. Yeah. But I'd have seen some teams get away with it and able to still deal with the yokais. But we'll see what happens. I didn't see last round how effective Echo was for either Lancaster or Swansea.
Yeah, I didn't really see all too much of that either, but I did want it to be a little bit more viable and more picked as well. The one thing that jumps out to me here, especially for these teams, is if we're going to see some real aggression on some of these angles, especially around Skylight. Lancaster have been known to take some really aggressive ones because they feel like they can win the duels most of the time. So do watch out for that at the start of some of these rounds. They might not go for it because, it's the finals and they're a little bit worried. But they do go for a lot of these very high-risk plays.
Yeah, I'll say, see exactly if the defense here wants to hold, Cigar Lounge piano that aggressively, they're just going to let it go. You see, I think they set up a shield watching Cigar Lounge, but not like actually in Cigar Lounge. So I'm interested to see what exactly the defense is here because it's top floor. You really can't. It's hard to be that aggressive unless you go downstairs, you play a roam downstairs, you play with a C4 below. You can be aggressive, but otherwise on that same floor, it is not a lot of angles to really play because you have bar, which is kind of like a no man's land, and then you have the White Hall, and that's really about it.
Yeah, this is all very sad. I do like this gridlock. I like the gun. The F90 is really nice to use. And the track stingers really help clog up the stairways, especially on this map. I think there are a couple of maps where it's particularly good. And I think this is definitely one of them. We've seen a couple of teams try and run that gridlock over the Nomad, which is generally preferred. Plebsy will see that go down, but unfortunately doesn't get any sight of head.
That's what I kind of expecting bans though. Is gonna be like a Jackal ban or a Nomad ban, or some kind of roam denial ban. Not Blackbeard to me. I was like, I didn't see Blackbeard much last round, and that's why I was like, kind of like, is that target ban, or do you just not want to see Blackbeard? Very odd one to me.
And especially because they do play it themselves, so very, very weird. But I mean, hey, if it works, it works. I don't think Coach is actually gonna be able to get this off. Oh,
He is.
I thought they still had the mute jammer down there, but no. This will open up the Thermite, doing a lot of work, opening up Freezer here. Really setting the pace for the rest of this round with 1 minute 20 on the clock.
If they can open bathroom next as well, that'd be really good to get rid of the person that's playing in this close angle.
I think it's still a mute jammer, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, if it's mute jammer too, that's you probably need that's where you need a Thatcher, but he's banned out, so they gotta deal with this close angle that probably has a shotgun waiting for this legend boy, Bog Boy. Yeah.
Bog Boy is lethal with those shotguns. We've seen them do it before, so definitely need to be a bit worried. Pilot sitting back over there as well.
Oh, but Coach gets first kill onto Lane, who's playing on the smoke, and I guess big thing too as well is the fact that you can play underneath the skylight now too. You saw the Jaeger there. He's kind of sitting literally right below the skylight because the skylight's a different angle. Jake gets Jay-Z, and wow, this is really quick 2 kills here for both teams.
There they are. Plebsy takes a down Pilot as Pilot tries to make a run and get aggressive. Halt. Doing well so far. It gets taken out there by Mahi as they are pincered by the remaining members. Really nice spray there from Skills. Takes down Coach. Accurate as heck. As Bog Boy is the last remaining member for this attacking side. It's going to be difficult to really make this play. Doesn't have the diffuser. Only has 10 seconds left on the clock. Is hit by these opportunities. Trying to run on through Freezer here, but many of these players just playing passive. It's almost impossible to do. Can't go for the diffuser either. Swansea pick up round 1. Lancaster started off really well, but couldn't really close out that round at all after opening up Freezer about 1 minute 20. They really should have been set up for that.
Yeah, it was a weird kind of round because they allowed them to take piano with no issue, no resistance. They opened up Freezer with no problem, no hard breach now of any sort, and then it just became of a kind of a funnel in a sense here where the attacking team just kind of pushes into Freezer or into White Hall, and that was it. And the defenders just kind of fought out 1v1s. One big thing too was the fact that the Jaeger, again, was below Skylight right next to the bomb but nobody could see him because the way with the skylight, you can't see right below you in skylight. So you can sit at that corner with no issue. And you saw that the Jaeger sitting there. He gets his skill just to kill onto, I think it was Plebsy coming through from Freezer, and nobody noticed it too. So it's a bit of a rush here from the attack. They didn't have enough information for that attack either. So I guess in a sense, they just kind of walked in.
Yeah, they did. And you can't always get away with just walking in. Sometimes you get the nice timing, you set yourself up for it, and it kind of works out. But here it just wasn't enough. You needed to set up a little bit more. You get some more utility down as well. And as they moved on in, they got caught out in a lot of ways. They tried to get too aggressive, and it all just kind of fell apart. So not what I expected from them. But we do see Swansea now moving into kitchen here.
Oh yeah, my Discord's working now.
Oh, that's nice. We can move back over onto that in just a little bit, but right now we do see this kind of prep phase going through, and we see this Valkyrie back in the hands of Swansea, and I do very much like this. There is still the IQ though for Plebsy.
Yeah, so yeah, this is still really worked in their favor, having the IQ either way to deal with those black guys or anything. Because again, the information allows for guys like Pilot, guys like Jake to be aggressive, skilled as well. So to get rid of those, very good job here. Well, they need to do it so far anyway for this downstairs defense of kitchen and kitchen cooking.
It is. Oh, I love those kind of outbreak camps that you're able to land.
I'm just curious where they put the castle barricades though. It seems like they put it in very odd places.
I mean, breaking up here means you have a little bit more defense on Bakery, but I don't think you really want to be hanging out too much in Bakery. It's kind of difficult to play from there. Not sure if I like that very much.
Yeah, it looks like Lane's playing maybe Bakery right now, so hopefully he has some sign of support as well to go with it.
Going to be seeing kind of Plebsy kind of checking this body more than using any of those cams. They will take the floor above control. And this could be a big opportunity for them because then from there, you have the vertical power. You brought this sledge for Bug Boy, the sledge that I actually like seeing here this time. And from that, you should be able to net a lot of extra value.
Yeah, I feel like defense security, they have the sledge available too, and they can get a lot of angles onto the defense now. So the fact that there's nobody roaming upstairs is very odd here from Swansea, but at the same point, you know, if they're all playing these horizontal angles and they're not actually on site, the sledge is going to be kind of not getting much out of that sledgehammer, not be able to find anybody to kill.
Indeed. It certainly is interesting to see whether that's going to be big. Lane bringing out the dock as well because they're trying to play from some of these more ranged angles. Has that ACOG, the peak is coming out from Plebsy, looking for an opportunity to see if they're going to be trying to rotate. The flashes do go in order to deal with that Jaeger. But we see Lane just waiting here, not really getting too aggressive, pretty happy to sit where they are. They've got a lot of time to work with, a minute on the clock.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know what exactly the wait here is for the attackers. What are they exactly waiting for to do? What the push is going to be? As I said, Plebsy walks in, takes out Lane immediately, though. So I guess he just needs some backup to walk in. Now they can go for it, but there's not a lot of time for them to actually go for this execute, so they need to make sure they have these angles crossed over. They have everything and set. There is a rotation at least, so they can just walk in if they want to.
I mean, that's certainly true. They've been really kind of slow. Something I wouldn't expect from this Lancaster side. Swansea, the team home, kind of expecting to take it easy, go however long they need to, but 20 seconds on the clock, and they need to get themselves in a position to try and get the diffuser down. Coach will finally start that going. And the covering fire will come in from a couple of angles now as Mahi is looking for a way to move on in. They don't get that diffuser down, and now with only 10 seconds, this is going to be so very difficult. They lost a bunch of players as well. Tries to go for it. Covering is there. He's going to be now going for that plant. Mahi doing it in a relatively open area. Just be careful here. The plant will go down, but now it's 2 versus 3. Jazia manages to get a kill onto Skilts there with those trackers. Tracks Stingers. Plebsy is 1 versus 1 now. Hog, who is above, looking for an opportunity. But it's going to be difficult to really find anything, as moving on down will mean they move right through where Plebsy should be dealing with. This is going to be bad. Oh no, the castle barricade's open. This is so bad for Plebsy. They are taken down. Hog will end out that round and take their team 2-0 up in the second map.
Yeah, exactly. So you had Coach there go for the planting of the diffuser. Where was the coverage to cover those angles, to cover the rotations made by the defense? Because you know they had prep room right there to the right there. You had the opening holes left in Red Hall. Where was the coverage to allow Coach to get the plant down? That's what I'm wondering there for. Lancaster on that attack. Swansea, nice retake there, though it was a bit close.
Indeed, it was. I mean, it really shouldn't have been in that situation. They were going for the plant and they just messed up, lost a bunch of frags, and just weren't able to do it.
It's just really, it's scary. It's a little bit those, like, I guess in the end, time was ticking. Time management is a big thing there for them. So, and in the end, they're kind of just executing at the last few seconds. It's a rush there. I see why they made mistakes.
Yeah, but that's been kind of the problem so far on this map, is that they've set themselves up for really nice positions, but they've taken too long to do it. They've got that kind of time in the back of their mind going, hey, you don't have much time to do this. You've got to kind of go aggressive. And they run on in, and they haven't checked their angles. They haven't set up any utility for it. And they just get picked off. And it's very uncharacteristic for this Lancaster side. Normally, they are much more aware of what they need to be doing, and they just look kind of lost on a map, which I actually think is pretty good for them normally.
It is defense sided, so it's not crazy to see the teams win these 2 rounds, but it's just the fact that how not structured or not really these attacks are formulated here from Lancaster, which is uncharacteristic of teams being played in previous games. But so either way, we'll be going on to a third defense, our tertiary site, the site that you maybe expect them to win, either out of kitchen, which is reading and dining here for Swansea, a site that you need to really play upstairs. You got to play on site and upstairs because a lot of vertical play will be done here by the attackers.
Indeed you do. We're going to see pretty much that. Skilt setting up in freezer here. And Hog trying to give some of that support as well. I do like that they brought the Legion in to kind of give notifications if you are playing off-site, that they've moved on in. They've kind of gone through those checkpoints in the doors. So we'll be excited to see that.
Definitely, happy to see this, the pulse as well. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of intel here. You get the pulse, the cardiac sensor. You have hopefully Lane can get some Mozzie drones as well, captures from drones too, and you have the Legion mines, the goo mines as well too. So it's like there's 3 different ways you can figure out where they're coming from for the attack, which is a really good here for the defense of Swansea. So this will be one work for IQ. IQ is going to be very helpful here.
It is, but you see Bug Boy getting very aggressive early on here, going to open up toilets. Mahi finds a frag early on onto Jake here. Really nice play from Bakery Roof. Finding those first couple of frags, and then that momentum we were talking about being stymied from the Swansea side. And that's really good for Lancaster. That's what you want to see. Really nice repeat from Skilts there at a different angle. Sorry, kind of that little bit lower down, doesn't get headshot, and therefore manages to get the frag. Bug Boy, a little bit astounded. It was greedy, but hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah, definitely. There. It's just one thing people see you too often is they re-peak the same angle at the same place where they were. So a lot of times that pre-fire ends up killing them. That's what you saw from Bogboy there. He was just pre-firing the corner, expecting the same kind of re-peak from the side of Skills. But Skills, great work to just get up, re-peak differently, lean a different way. But unfortunately, that leaning does not work in the favor of the Doc as he goes down. Plus, he does get Pilot, and Skills still will refrag.
Skills has definitely been on top of their game so far in this map. Absolutely fragging out on this Jaeger. Brought a couple of frags already in this round. Finds their third, and this is looking so good. I thought it started off really well with the attacking side, and it's just all falling apart yet again.
Well, it's still close. It's still 2-2.
Yeah,
it's not like it's over entirely.
They haven't really set up for the site. It's 45 seconds. They've not got a huge amount. They've got some utility, actually. Out of all the operators they've picked, these do have some of the most utility, but it's just... They're losing players, and Plebsy has been... Sorry, Skelts has been absolutely on it. I don't think you want to peek too aggressively. They don't have Diffuser either. These Jaegers still being a pain in the butt.
If they can deal Plebsy, or not Plebsy, if they can deal with Skills up top, which the goo mine is going to give Skills now the surprise, and he's going to drop down right. Whoa, where did Hog? Great position, Hog.
Really nice play. Mahi gets hit by the goo mine. This round is pretty much over. 6 seconds on the clock, moving straight on in. Oh no, gonna take that out. You have nowhere near enough time. You have to just frag out here. You play passive here if you are the defenders. And Swansea pick up the third round in a row. Mahi picked up, I believe, a 4K in that? No, 3K in that round. And just still, their team wasn't able to win it out.
I would say that like it wasn't a horrible roam clear here from the side of Lancaster, but one that took a lot of time on top of the fact that they Then we're in the fact that they need to figure out how they're gonna play. I guess the big thing too was the diffuser was in the hands too. If the diffuser was in the hands already of Jazian or Mahi, maybe a different story because they can go to get in the site, they could go for straight for a plant and allow for the last two defenders to go to them. But they'd have diffuser. It was down next to skills, so that's even worse.
Pretty similar comps coming out here as they do move back up to that top floor, and a very strong defense so far from Swansea. And Lancaster on their map choice looking kind of weak. As you said, it is very defender-sided, but even the tertiary site there, we saw them fail on. They got very close, don't get me wrong, but even losing on that tertiary site has to feel bad.
Yeah, I agree. It's just like it's one thing to lose the first like 1 or 2 rounds based on the preferred sites, the sites you know that they know how to defend.
Yeah.
But going to the third site is a site that's hard to defend, especially because you see reading and dining. It's a large area, not only upstairs, large area, but downstairs as well. So there's a lot of different angles attackers can take that round, and they just kind of all ran right into the roamer sides, right into the head roamer skills and whoever else is up there, and they kind of really lost a lot of those fights. There wasn't a lot of refrags, ended up 2-2. It's not like it wasn't that dominating, but still ended up in them having to scrap and try to scrap together and execute.
Indeed, and in those situations where they're trying to scrap together and execute, they have consecutively just failed. It really hasn't been a good look for them, and I want to see more discipline from them. And it's what we've seen from them before, so it's surprising to see here that that's the thing I'm asking from this Lancaster side, because actually I think they do play some pretty solid Rainbow Six, for the most part.
Yeah, I've seen some very good strats with Lancaster's very good teamwork and some plays that make them seem like a much better team than you'd expect. But again, it's, you know, sometimes teams have hard days. There are days there's teams that work together, and there's already a rush in from Bog Boy. Jake was aware of the jump in, but will not make the shots. That's unfortunate, actually.
That is, we were talking about all these good strats. Sometimes you just need to go and guns are blazing.
Apparently, yeah. I found Jake pissed too because that should have been Jake's kill. That was like that was a kind of a giveaway for the defense there.
It was. It should have been a freebie. Yazian drops on down, tries to get that spray, but doesn't find anything. Coach will find their frag as well as they take control early on into this round. 2 players up, starting to move on towards the main site.
So this is so I guess the big thing too is this is a very aggressive defense compared to before. So that was for Coach to get those first 2 kills. It's already a big issue. Skills is now low in HP. Looks like he got fired out by probably one of the attackers peeking into bar. So this is how it seems as though now Swansea are getting a bit too aggressive, a bit too confident, maybe a bit arrogant.
Yeah, it's a bit greedy. Plebsy knows that there's a player in toilet here, though. We'll cover that for their team. They have the man advantage, so it's very easy to just hold these angles. As the flash comes out onto Pilot. Pilot really not having a great time as they get downed, sent below the floorboards. They do take down Bugboy, but now it's only Skilts with, I think, like 5 HP remaining. The fuse is going down, a minute on the clock. This is pretty much where it is. As Lancaster picked their first round of this map in round 4.
So it's the thing too. Like usually, I've seen on a cafe before where they'll people will win the first 3 rounds, and then the attacking team will then figure out they'll adapt well, and then they'll win those next 3 rounds out entirely. But we don't want to see what happens actually. That was a preferred side though. That was Bar and Cocktail. That was a very one-sided, not say one-sided, but a very convincing win from Lancaster.
It was indeed. I mean, that's the kind of thing which I came into this map expecting from them. If we see more of that, I'll have my faith restored. I'll put my bandwagon back on for Lancaster here. But the thing is, right, is that it's whether they're able to do that. If Swansea kind of regroup, they should be able to sort this out. Whether they've got a full understanding of the strategy is actually something I don't know if I agree with, because you were talking about how different that defense was, because they were playing a more aggressive style. So that's the bit which really interests me here, because they were trying to change something up. And actually, I think if it's broken, don't try and fix it. I think that more defensive kind of hold on specifically this site is a lot better.
Yeah, agreed. It's that's why I see again. I talked before, like the fact that playing aggressive on this site is difficult because of the fact there's only it's a very cornered top floor. Like if there's not a lot of room to really peek around. There's only certain places you can be on this kind of defense floor. Like sure, lounge can be big, but then besides lounge, you have Freezer, which is straight away. You have a straight away for White Hallway. You have a straight away from Bar. There's not a lot you can do in defense. So if you play aggressive and you lose those fights, it's not exactly a really good way to start the round out.
Certainly isn't. We see the Kaid this time, trying to set up something to try and hold those walls a little bit better, as we do see them actually getting taken out a lot. Here, I think the Thermite onto Freezer wall from Coach has been really impactful in how they've been making their attacks. So I do like that kind of adaptation that we're seeing as Hog does pick it up.
Yeah, it wasn't that impactful the first time because last time they just kind of
Well,
walked in and lost the fights.
Died.
Yeah, exactly. Second time though, it worked a lot better for them, and now Swansea at least this time thinking, hey, let's not let them open up. Thatcher's banned. Let's not have them just open up for free. Jake takes the first kill on the Bog Boy, and that's the kill that should have happened last time.
Yeah, it basically is. He should not have gotten away with something so silly in that prior round, but this time finally paying for their crimes. Got that Nomad this time. No longer the Gridlock. They'll put Juzzy in on that with the A-Jab launcher. Looking to try and find something, because now they don't have that two-player advantage they had in the previous round. This is going to be a much more difficult offense.
Yeah, so you see, like the defenders here aren't trying to play aggressively on red stairs. They're trying to play too aggressive into lounge or piano as you call it. So this is a very different one from them, and now they're playing that more timid. Hey, let's try to wait it out and just try to bait them and waste time or anything. There is one player below though. You see, there is one player inside a train or inside of dining below them. I don't know who that is exactly. It could be one with a C4. Maybe it's the mute.
I mean, it would make sense because you can play mute kind of offsite. They have been playing them in that toilet. Finally, Coach manages to resolve that Thermite exothermic charge on the wall, and will open up Freezer yet again for this defending side. We see someone on the stairs. Jessian is making sure that they can't peek up where they really want to and impact this. C4 does whiff, unfortunately, for the defending side. Jesse moves to try and control these stairs yet again. Tries to go for that pre-fire, but Skilts is the one who finds Jazzian, and now this offense not looking so good with 50 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, again, these anchor positions, these positions you can take to watch these long angles, really works in the favor of the defense. Again, I don't know why they tried the Kai trick. You saw the Kai Hog throw it late. He actually is down now. He threw it late, and that's interesting why they should do that. There is actually two players inside of Bar. Mahi gets skits. Now down to Plebsy gets shaken. Oh my god, it's all falling apart.
Plebsy starting to frag out in this round, and with Mahi on that backup, player who's been able to find some really impactful frags. This could be what they need. Lane is going to try and get this res, but the shots ring out. Hog does go down. This will be 2 versus 1. Lane, definitely a strong player, can do this, but it's going to be difficult, expecting someone to be just around this corner, but actually they're playing very far back. We talk about defensive. There's been more of that focus in this round. Lane.
At this point, Lane has to deal with 2, and just don't think he's been able to. There's 2, 1 left, 1 right.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. Going to try and peek around the corner, but wasn't looking in the right direction, and Coach picks them off, picking up Lancaster, their second round in round 5 here. Honestly, at the start of this round, we saw them kind of fall apart a little bit, but they brought it back together, and you were talking about in the kind of second half of the first half, I hate the second quarter. That's like American sports terminology, right?
the end of the 8th round in the second quarter of the 8th.
Yeah, they do come back. They have an understanding of what the defensive side is trying to do. This may be exactly what we're seeing here, as we do now go back down to Kitchen.
So yeah, they end this at a 3-3, which was what we're kind of expecting. But we're going to start with this a different defense time. So, but if we ended a 3-3 here for Lancaster, it's it's actually considered a win for the attack, because it's not 4-2 like you see on defense side maps like Clubhouse or Villa. It's a 3-3, which is really good for Lancaster. But either way, that round though it's very odd, because you had the kite on the board, but they don't have a Thatcher. So if you just throw the kite on the electrical on the wall and leave it,
it seems a bit silly that they even got away with that, because you just pop it down and they can never ever breach it unless they someone all the way around, which kind of defeats the point of using the exothermic charge anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So it was very odd for them to try even electrical kite trick that wall. They should just throw the electrical on there and leave it. Unless you go below to deal with the electrical claw, or you throw a grenade over. But if you throw it far enough atop, especially now that the electrical claws have a larger radius, there's no way to deal with it, even with the grenades. So it's very odd to see what exactly they were aiming for there from Swansea. And big thing there too is the fact that you saw they opened the wall up, and that created a divide in the defense. You had many players on the right, and only so many on the left. And because the left was only guarded by, I think, the Echo of Jake, it ended up allowing for the attackers to push into the bar on the left side and get that plant down and pretty much divide the attack and then just fire in on the right side where the defenders were. So really good work from Lancaster to understand that and take that opportunity. So we'll be going down to his last defense of the round or half.
Did we well. There's not too many people on the floor above, from what I can tell from the current views we've kind of had, which is surprising to see because you were really emphasizing how important above hold was, I believe, earlier.
For Kitchen, it can be.
Oh,
it really
okay.
depends on how they play it. So Kitchen depends on how they play. If they play it a lot on site and they play it in Anchorage, there's a lot of people on Kitchen cooking, Kitchen service. That top floor control is very important because that means if that vertical play from Bog Boy here comes into play, it's shooting fish in a barrel. But it seems as though Swansea is more fond of the horizontal hold, where they're going to play off site, but they're going to watch from that same floor from afar.
Mm-hmm. Certainly is interesting, kind of looking at the differences between holding the very same site, and here we're going to see them spending a lot of time trying to get off those drones early. Going to finally jump in above and try and utilize Bog Boy's big old sledgehammer to open up some of these angles. And from here, now they're going to start to put pressure onto Bakery. Finding a frag.
One kill them. Yep, there's the kill from above, it looks like. So one player on site now down. It's a dock of all things, too.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to see.
I think the dock is actually holding Bakery, too. So I think Bakery's now free. That's actually really good for the attack.
Yeah, that's big. We did see Lane kind of sitting down there earlier on.
Yeah, you can see the blood as well. So it looks like he was in the rotation hole while this happened. And looks like Bob Boy would get that shot off from above. Great shots. And a great grenade.
Wow. Really showing their mastery over Sledge here. The exothermic charge will go down. And here, we're opening up as we're trying to see them move on into Bakery here. But hopefully they don't make the mistakes we've seen from them in prior rounds where they just walk on in into a hail of bullets. Nice shooting there from Pilot. Doesn't matter.
That's an angle that you need to hold there for the attack. And wow, what a good camp, too.
Well played so far on this Valkyrie. Pilot trying to contest some of these players who are upstairs. The diffuser's going down. And it's going to be very difficult to really contest this, as this is going to, yeah, it's just going to go down. And now Coach sitting back here, just waiting, moving into an angle, and yeah. A couple of frags come on in. The round, very difficult to win now, as Hog, off-site, moving into 4 players on a diffuser. It's not particularly great. Trying to do something, but the air jab even stops them. And, well, that will be 3-3 in this half after a pretty abysmal 0-3 start for Lancaster here. They've really pulled it back and are now contesting Swansea as we move into the second half. I would like to stress Lancaster's map choice.
Yeah, so big thing, too, is the fact that this round was... Oh, good job, Hog. Don't get plebsy. But big thing for this round was that it was a kind of horizontal hold from the defense, but unfortunately there was not a lot of probably plant denial, as you had Coach just go for a plant, and where was the information or the response from the defense to stop that?
Yeah, they didn't really communicate in the same way that we saw in the first 3 rounds. They weren't calling out a lot of these things, so we'd see people die to the same person. You're like, hey, there's a guy above, but you're not telling him about what they're trying to do, how much you need to respect it, because we saw Bog Boy just completely demolish those first 2 kills and basically open up the round for them.
Yeah, it was a very good start from Bog Boy, and the fact, big thing too is that like once you get the plant down, you have the upstairs coverage. It's almost impossible to retake, especially now because Kitchen cooking is a very large site. There's a lot of just long angles, and so the big thing there was like, where was the echo? I don't know why Lane picked up the dock, but where was the echo instead to deny that mother? Yeah. So just interesting choices from Swansea in the last round. Not as good as an approach or a good as a response to that plan as you saw before. Just because I took Bakery so quickly. Like if you lose Bakery that quickly into the round, allow them to push into Kitchen cooking, need to be some kind of response from the defense. You can't just allow them to walk in like after that point.
You certainly can't. I think you just need to not get picked off in Bakery like that. The dock really should just be living longer, doing more of a job. It was just very difficult because Bog Boy did a really nice vertical play, did manage to take him out because they were sat exactly in the right position to be caught out. It happens. I think if we do that every round again, I actually don't feel it's definitely could be lost by them.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was just kind of fortunate timing here for Lancaster, but still, it's just kind of fortunate it's unfortunate timing. So you definitely can't say if they did it again who would win. But either way, we'll be starting the defense here. Lancaster, their first defense round on top floor of Cocktail and Bar. Operate let up, not too crazy, similar as you saw before, and hopefully this time they can use those electrical claws more effectively. But the Mavericks on the board this time.
Yeah, and it's something I'm interested to see because not a lot of teams kind of bring this on. Basically anything that isn't Clubhouse. So I'm surprised to see this here, but I can see where it's going to be used. Makes a lot of sense here. And this sledge again for lane. It's trying to open up some of these holes so they can start to drop on down. I do like the fact that we do have this echo, as you mentioned before, over the kind of dock or anything else. I think especially because you can kind of potentially even put one in piano room, and from there kind of hamper a lot of the attack trying to move on in.
Yeah, so this is where they can at least use those other tools to deal with that shot being available, at least. And they can see them push in and see if they can take over. Not again, the same kind of defense where they're gonna not play aggressive, play the timid roles, play in the back end, and play for those advantageous angles.
You know, it's really interesting to see that we don't have the thumb on board to try and deal with playing from Freezer, because actually I think Freezer is very, very important in the way you're going to be attacked. This actually part of that wall's already open, so that might be maybe where they're trying to go for this. So interesting way, kind of adaptation between these teams.
True, very true. Yeah, it's good to see the teams are changing up their strats and not doing the same thing as their team is, and like they're learning how they can fix the mistakes that the other team did on their defense. It was really cool to see, actually.
Certainly is, and hopefully looking to replicate the first 3 rounds of the first half. Lancaster on this defensive side now, as Swansea definitely ran away with those. The IQ spotting out a load of those electronics, telling what those Kaid claws are. As we do see shootouts happen, Skilts barely survives there against Bug Boy and does manage to take that first frag of the round.
Yeah, time is running out. First kill within the first. It's only been 2 minutes already, though. There's only 45 seconds left to go, so there's not a lot of time here for the push. They did get the wall open at least. They made it soft through that Maverick blowtorch to toe torch the bottom and the top of the reinforcement. He's trying to peek he's just trying to crouch his way into sight, though.
They pick up a couple of frags. Really nice shooting there by Pilot. Will deal with Hazian as well. But it's down to Mahi. 1 versus 3 now. Has the shotgun looking for something a little bit special. Give him a whole dinner plate full of lead. Will unfortunately get peeked as they try and jump on through. And Swansea pick up round 7, taking their first attacking round.
That was a really good attack from Swansea, and it's not what you want to see here on this defense of Lancaster, though, to be able to lose that first one out. That momentum that they created by winning those last 2 rounds is kind of falling apart here. But either way, it's still a defense side map, so they still have a chance to redeem themselves, keep going. But really good, just a really good attack from the attackers. It was a bit slow, though. Time was running out. They had kind of were pinched on time, but they were able to take those 1v1s and win most of them at that point.
Mm-hmm. Some nice individual play there. And taking those couple of frags as they moved on in, definitely very important too. I do actually, as much as I know they're smack talking in the chat, it's interesting to see Mahi actually really fragging out here, generally playing a much more supportive role in this team. So it's exciting to see them bring up some of those numbers and actually make up for some quieter performances from some of the players that I would otherwise expect more from. Not to say that anyone in this game has been playing particularly badly. But normally I'd expect, for example, like Coach to have a couple more frags. I look at Plebsy to have fragged out a little bit more because normally they're players I kind of focus on. But this time, Mahi's really been showing up and it's been impressive.
Yeah, Mahi's been really going off here. Definitely him and Plebsy, though. They're really getting those kills.
I know I said Plebsy wasn't fragging out. I feel like I've just not seen as much of Plebsy in the same way. But obviously still fragging out quite well. Do actually see the Thermite this time on the offensive side, and I do like that in the way they're going to set up for this. But it will be kind of difficult with those Kaid claws, especially if they're placed in the right positions, because we have no Thatcher.
Well, big thing was last time they had the Maverick, though, Maverick, the top and the bottom reinforcement, which kind of made the Electric Claw pointless in a sense. So unless they have someone deny the Maverick from below or from a different angle, that wall is going to get opened up, even if it takes most of the round.
Yeah. But the thing is, I don't think you can afford to spend most of the round doing it. I think
true, I guess. Yeah.
You run out of time and things just go badly.
True, yeah, that's the one thing here. At least Electrical does is it wastes time and makes it for the Maverick and Drake have to go through all that work, which is what they want. But that's what happened last time. They had no time left. And they still won that round. So if they can just ham out, maybe not peek as much or wait for the attackers to push those angles instead, maybe they'll win this round. But it's hard to say because it's last time this one was. There was only 40 seconds left and they barely got the wall open in Freezer.
Yeah, there's been something that I want to see more from teams being a little bit faster here. They've taken their time, but I think to an extent that's not particularly great for them. We are going to see Pilot try and open up piano here for the team. And we'll be moving in on their own. The Skilts will be dropping down. They'll be moving on in. No one's actually holding it. They did use a bit of utility to get on in here. Need to make sure that they don't get kind of run out, though. For example, by the player in toilets.
So it seems like as though this time again, it looks like Jazzine is trying to ban to Kite Trick, which is not going to really make a difference because Jake's playing the Maverick anyway. Unless they can somehow get rid of the extra charge right now while they're not suspecting it.
Yeah, that's interesting that they haven't just gone for that. This is weird to see. Yeah, there we go. Nicely played, though. Jake is going to be able to try and cut off some of that. But they're expecting this player to kind of run on in, and they are covering that Maverick as you would kind of expect a team to do. Setting up for this. They're trying to actually peek back on through it. Mahi getting kind of aggressive with this shotgun on that mute. Moving back through towards toilet here and waiting for them to push on in as soon as this is open. Jazian does find that frag, taking down Skilts. They don't have the Sophia, so a lot of utility lost there as they find a little bit of damage as well.
So it looks like they're trying to get this wall open, but they haven't cut enough of it open, so it's still reinforced. If you cut, but there's a shot from below. Unfortunately, it probably gets shot down by Jazian as he tries to peek into those Maverick holes. Well, they haven't Mavericked enough to make it soft though, so they're still kind of in impasse.
Yeah, nice play from Stairs there. Pilot almost goes down instantaneously. Does go down to the electricity there. That is so unfortunate, but they managed to take down Bog Boy. Hog getting aggressive here. Doesn't check the floor. That's normally where these shotgun players will be sitting. The Echo concussing one of these players. 2 players down on the offense, and the defenders find that third one. They all go down.
Jazzy getting a kill there with the Electro Claw. What a great round. But either way, it was actually really good on the defense. Again, they didn't really peak too much. And big thing there was the fact that the Maverick couldn't get the wall open for the attackers. So they couldn't take that angle. I guess they just had so much. Wait, actually, no, was Maverick killed, actually? I think Maverick got killed anyway, too, so they couldn't finish it even.
Maverick got downed afterwards. They didn't die on that initial bit. They might have run out. They shouldn't have run out of fuel. I think it was just difficult to try and make that repick because we actually saw that, for example, Jazian was holding that angle kind of aggressively. As much as they killed them with a taste of his own medicine, there could be other players waiting. And I don't think you really want to try that out and lose a player for that for no reason.
Yeah, very true. So again, it was unfortunate they weren't able to get the wall open. It was a big thing that kind of put that impasse. They could make the wall soft to get through into Freezer, but still a great try from the attack and a really good adaptation and just a really good response from the defense. As we go downstairs to kitchen service, we'll see actually how they defend this compared to Swansea.
I do like that we're seeing this Jackal come out, but here on kitchen, it depends on how they're playing. Because if we do see them play a more kind of vertical style, whether they're going to be actually having some of these more hanging off players, I think that's going to be whether this is really going to show dividends. And they've put a lot of actually utility towards that in their operator picks because they've also picked up this Nomad. So it's about whether that's going to be the focus of this round. I think will determine whether Swansea really have enough utility to get on in here.
Definitely agreed. It really depends how they. It really depends on how they defend this, and agreed very much so. If they play aggressive upstairs or not. The 62 agreed. The Nomad isn't all that really helpful if they play some of the stairs. If nobody really rotates to deny that upstairs coverage. And again, I'm not sure if they're going to play horizontal like we saw from Swansea, or they're going to play all on site. They're playing all on site, which it seems like they are actually for the moment. That sledge of skills will be really helpful. That's a really good cam here from.
Yeah, that's really nice. We're getting a lot of information, but Jake spots it out, and we'll take it down. Not before it's done its job, for sure. See,
At this point, nobody's playing upstairs, though.
It is weird to see. I'd expect at least one. But I think that's kind of good from the Miz sense, because this means that the Jackal doesn't really do as much, anywhere near as much, because now the Jackal doesn't have anyone ready to track. You get a lot less utility out of it. Sure, it means they're stuck down there anyway, but if you've planned this strategy to play from below, you were talking about the horizontal hold for Kitchen, it doesn't really matter too much anyway.
But I think they're all playing on site. I don't think they're making a horizontal hold for the defense of Lancaster, which is why I'm scared for this, because it seems as though all the Lancaster players are actually on site. That's my only problem with this. If most of the Lancaster players are on site and they don't have anybody playing upstairs, this vertical play is going to actually be effective against them. Depends. I don't see where all the Almar from. I really can't tell, but it seems as though they're all on site, from what I can see from moments.
Yeah. There is Bug Boy is kind of roaming around trying to get something done a little bit, but a lot of them, are kind of sitting on site, and this could be their downfall because they could easily get kind of destroyed from above, as you highlight. We see Coach being the first victim of this. The Echo as well going down early. This means if we get to a plant situation, they have a lot less ways to kind of stop that plant.
Yeah, C4 here probably nice from the defense to deal with one of the attackers, but you can see, there's a foots. You see some foots here from Pilot. Looks like that was a C4 from he will not get a kill. He'll actually get killed by Pilot. Nope. Looks like they are trying to retake upstairs.
Yeah, they are. They're getting very aggressive here. We do see Plebsy go on down. Pilot will go to reload. Doesn't continue to contest this. Bug Boy is now above. May even be looking to use. It's going to jump down at least somewhere over here. I see I'm rotating all the way around. Chelsea's still on site, trying to hold it. Now with less pressure from above, this is definitely more feasible. The Jackal tracking Bog Boy makes their life very, very difficult here, as the diffuser is going down, and now they're trying to rotate back and give a hand. The air jab does knock him down, buys them those pressure few seconds, doesn't quite die to the player covering that. But we see Jazian go down. The diffuser doesn't actually get does go down. And now, Bog Boy 1 versus 3, and they have a lot of information about where this player is coming from. So this is going to be hard as nails to attack. Especially because this player back of train doesn't even know they're there. Swansea pick up round 9. They're looking like they might just succeed here on their opponent's map choice.
Yeah, they've been taking a lot of defense rounds, and Lancaster, they haven't been able to deal with some of these. They got 1 so far out of 3, but there have been none of these first rounds, for these sites, they're losing out to some of these. I guess they don't know exactly how to play, but it seems as though they're not the most knowledgeable, maybe how to play Cafe.
Yeah. I mean, I believe it was their pick, so this is strange to hear.
Maybe they thought it'd be surprising for both teams? It's hard to say.
Look, if we don't have any idea what we're doing, maybe they don't have any idea what they're doing. I mean, they're definitely still within a shot of winning this, but they've just looked very lost here. There's been a couple of nice rounds from them, and some very close rounds to be sure, but it doesn't seem like they fundamentally understand what they need to be doing, and we've been seeing some very suspect holds as a result, and suspect pushes as well.
Very much agreed. Yeah, it just seems like some of these rounds, they at least were adapting on the second time they played that site upstairs on Bar Cocktail, but this first site here for Kitchen Service, they didn't have any upstairs holding above. They didn't have a horizontal hold. They were all on site, so allowed for the sledge of skills just duty once and people just shooting fish in a barrel. It's really unfortunate for the defense of Lancaster as we go to our tertiary site, which is reading and fireplace, or reading and dining.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel particularly good about this. They're at least kind of playing the upstairs, which I think is, as you highlighted, very key. But I don't have high hopes for the way they've been holding this after the mess which we've seen from them in some of their defenses.
Yeah, this is really come down to how well these defenders can hold upstairs. We've seen Lancaster has some pretty good gunplay, but wouldn't be surprised to see if Swans are able to take upstairs quite heavily if there's not enough upstairs to help them resource-wise. And at least as the coach of the Ag Yokais can help out. There's a lot of information held here, actually, too.
Yeah. Coach going to be using these Yokais, as you say, moving them all around, making sure they've got at least some eyes on site. As right now, I think there's only one person down there, if any. As a lot of them are more spread around the rest of this map.
Yeah, the Jackal here is going to be very helpful for Jake to deal with these roamers upstairs. Though they are playing those ankle positions, they have reinforcements as well.
Yeah, they do have at least something to help them kind of hold this upstairs, and I think that's going to be very key. Because otherwise that Jackal will just kind of destroy them by just rooting them out of their positions, and from there, just taking the round. So, glad that they at least have something going.
At this point, just gonna start opening up walls, some soft walls they can find. Skills using his hammer to get through, and they're starting to push their way methodically over towards the defenders. And because this wall isn't reinforced, allows them to push in the freezer, which could be an issue for these defenders. One's on white stairs, one's right behind their white hall, and one's back of cocktail, which is the echo. Looks like there is some shots from our pilot. Coach takes out Skills, and that's a good start.
Indeed, it is. Nice shot from Coach. Playing back here. Talking about those reinforced walls and how important they were. Going to be super relevant in keeping Coach alive for the moment. As we do see players trying to root them out where possible. Jake, very up and close to this wall, looking for an opportunity, but unfortunately, that's really, really sad to see as they kind of just bypassed this top floor and went on down, lost a bunch of players. They're still trying to take down this, do finally take down Echo, but they do lose a player for it. That's unfortunate. They could, I feel like they could have just head on down to the site because they have so much control down there right now. There is a player on the stairs, so I need to watch out for that.
Definitely, so they could be used to deal with Echo rather than try to face check it and win that fight. But either way, it's still in the favor of the attack with 30 seconds to go. So it's not a lot of time here. The defense needs to be wary of where they're coming from and deny the plant. But the problem also is they have upstairs coverage. So this could be very difficult for the defense's pilot because planted the fuser, Lang as Jazzian.
Yeah. And some good shooting from Hog. We'll net that for the team. Swansea moving up 6-4. Well, this is looking like it could be theirs unless we go all the way to that overtime. These maps have been pretty close and down to the wire so far. It's fun to see that these top-level teams in University Rainbow Six Siege really being able to go toe-to-toe with each other. We've not had a really dominant force. In some of the more group matches, we did see that Lancaster were particularly strong, but here, gods can bleed. We've been seeing them drop many rounds, many frags, and in situations which you really shouldn't expect from them. So nice play from Swansea to make these errors really count.
I agree, definitely. The fact that they're on attack here on this defense side map and they're taking most of these rounds, they've taken 3 out of 4 rounds now, is very good on Swansea side. It really shows that they know how to play this map, and or maybe that they're able to, again, like you said before, exploit those weaknesses, exploit those opportunities, and really take or make sure that they punish for those mistakes here from Lancaster.
Yeah. I do want to see whether they're able to utilize this Maverick again this time, because it was kind of obviously didn't succeed very well in the prior round. That they actually were able to use it because they didn't actually completely open it up, which I don't know how they managed to do. I think in part because Jazzian was kind of running interference on that. Hopefully they will be able to succeed on that. But I mean, this is the map that was, the site that was won on the defense for Lancaster. If they win it again, we're looking at a real possibility of going into overtime, and I'm really looking forward to that. These teams could be having quite the slog for their finals here.
It's hard to say because if they win, it's very possible to win the site. But the problem is that they go back to one of the sites they've lost so far, which would be either downstairs or kitchen or kitchen cooking, kitchen service, or reading and dining. So it really comes down to how well we see the defenders here of Lancaster prep their next defense site, and also if the attackers here can not lose their Maverick too early and get the wall open.
Yeah. I think it is going to be pretty important how they play around it, whether they devote, either they get it done quickly or they devote less to it, so it's less pivotal on how they're going to win the round. Because if you put so much towards it, then you need to really rely on it to be the important thing which gets you through it. And if they were messing around, looking towards white stairs, dropping players again, I don't really feel too happy about the way in which they're going to be making this aggression.
Oh, that's a really good goop mine on the doorway into red. That actually allows them to take the shots because that wall is soft into that shop or into that little cigar storage or closet. So Jake's already low on HP, and now he has to open his wall up, and he could lose. He could actually lose his life.
Yeah, has to be careful. They do ping out that Kaid. They will deal with it. I believe that means they can just go and open it. The exothermic charge can now resolve that. Oh, no. I think Jazzian just put another one straight on down. But
yeah, they're trying to ping out and trying to figure out where it is, but they can't see it, so
This is really nice play. That
You
it's
put it
just
on
in
the
there.
You put it in the hole. Well, that's the way you don't need a you don't need a Maverick anymore. You just get rid of the Legend Claws, and I can open it up.
I mean, that's all down to the Maverick IQ combo there, really allowing them to do that. Jazzian now in a bit more of a pinch than we saw them in the previous round where they played here. Very difficult for them to really make any plays from here now that they're just being covered. Can't even deal with that drone, as now the utility is going to really cut them off from the rest of their team. Silt's going to drop on down, trying to make that pre-fire, but there isn't anyone there actually waiting to receive those bullets so graciously. Skilt's just trying to make sure that they can hold that player there. A lot of shots being fired, nothing actually finding any head, but damage finally going down. But Jazzian is downed in there, but not out for the count. And they don't know, obviously, that he's been down, so should be pretty important. Now, finally, they will take him down. Good hold there by Hog, getting aggressive, deals with yet another. It's 2 versus 3. The attackers with that advantage currently. This could be it. Nice play there from Hog. Takes down Plebsy. And that will be Swansea picking up round 11, picking up the map, and moving us 1-1 in the series.
What a round here from what a half from Swansea, actually, what do you think?
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. They lost 1 round. And then picked up absolutely everything else after going 3-3. They won 4 rounds in a half, and really well played. We're normally expecting that defense to be a little bit stronger here, so really showing up and succeeding fantastically.
Yeah, I would say the crazy thing too was the fact that the defenders of Lancaster only won 1 round out of 5, I think it was.
Yeah, out of 5.
Oh no, 4. What 4?
Was it?
No,
it's 5, I think.
no, because they only need 4 rounds to win that though. So
Yeah, they needed 4 rounds to win it, and they won 1 round on the defense.
oh yeah, well, I guess
Yeah, so it's 5. Yeah.
5. Something like
These 5 rounds plus a couple more. Of course, brought to you by Republic of Gamers and Intel. Check out our Discord, discord.gg/the NUEL, to find out about unique events that you can get involved with at your university. And we will be going to a quick break. But after that, what do we have lined up for them in this final game of the series and game of the season?
Clubhouse. Yep, it's Clubhouse, guys. The last map of this best of 3. We'll see who we are. I think we're Swansea on defense again, so they have the initiative once more.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be a great way to close out the season, moving on to Clubhouse just after the break.
Been trying to find my way, but I still won't stop my devotion. Trying to find the motivation. Been trying to find my way, cause I wanna change my situation. So I'm trying to find the motivation. Cups to the sky, if you feel the vibe, you can't deny the energy inside. I wanna feel something to give me that belief. When it drops on the beat, it's happening every time. Cups to the sky, if you feel the vibe, you can't deny the energy inside. I wanna feel something to give me that belief. When it drops on the beat, it's giving me the motivation. Motivation, 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 giving me the motivation. Cups to the motivation, cups to the motivation, giving me the motivation, motivation. To the morning. Swear that the vibe got me up all evening. I'll be on the vibe till I'm in bed yawning. Cause ain't nothing else gonna give me that feeling. Nah. Cups to the sky for trying to live life. It's about time we're taking it up high. You ain't got a vex, put the stress to the side. When it drops on the beat, it's happening every time. Props to the sky for trying to live life. It's about time we're taking it up high. You ain't got a vex, put the stress to the side. When it drops on the beat, it's giving me the motivation. Motivation, motivation, motivation. Giving me the motivation. Cups to the motivation. Cups to the motivation. Giving me the motivation. Motivation.
Are you only passing through, or are you gonna love me? Are you only passing through, or are you gonna love me? Are you only passing through, incoming message?
I feel the love I've never felt before. I'm fired up now. Conceal the words I've never said before. I'll say them out loud. Everyone love everyone. You can turn it off, no. Anyone enters the gun. We close our eyes and let it go.
Only passing through, or are you gonna love
We close our eyes and let it go.
Are you only passing through, or are you gonna love
We close our eyes and let it go. I don't wanna be anywhere but here with you. Future memories we can carry on. The truth I found you. Incoming message.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Sorry, and welcome back to the Rainbow Six University League. I am Rook, and I'm joined by Benny, and we're here for the third game of the final game of the winter split here between Lancaster and Swansea. And, well, it's been really back and forth, hasn't it, Benny?
It's been fantastic. Rainbow Six University League. It's Lancaster winning the first map 7-4. What was Swansea's map pick? Apparently a border. But then we go to Cafe and Swansea bring it back. And they put it on to a 7-3 in their favor. Now we go to Clubhouse.
We do. And it's interesting to see that they're winning on each other's maps. the classic strategy to lose on your own map to throw your opponents off. But going into Clubhouse here, who do you think is kind of like going to be the team who comes out on top? Because, I mean, we've seen, obviously, them win one match apiece. We've got that kind of historical bias. Which one do you think it is?
So far, we've seen Swansea win it on their defense. They've played a very good defense so far. We saw a little bit of more of a lost Lancaster on their attack, which again, it's cafe, so it's new, so maybe that's what the issue was. But then we go to Clubhouse. Clubhouse is older map. It's one that Emery knows how to play, so maybe Lancaster this time know what they're doing on their attack, because they will be attack first, as it always seems like. Swansea be on defense first, so maybe Lancaster know what they're doing. They know how to make these attacks. As I say that, people are just left and right leaving the lobby, but either way, I'm thinking Lancaster should have a better attack, maybe a better defense this time too. But at the same point, Swansea have been looking really good.
They certainly have. Swansea have been playing very well. I've been impressed with kind of the way across the board they've actually been really fragging out. Lancaster has been very much relying on Plebsy and surprisingly Mahi to kind of frag out, whereas Swansea has been more across the board impressive. So I am excited to see whether it's kind of that consistency or whether the star player is going to be the thing which really decides it. And it's really fun to see as well, because obviously these two teams, if you look at the end of their names, they've got ESW. This is these guys play in ESL together, so they're like coming up against each other in these finals. Couldn't ask for a better situation, as they are really going to the bottom of the ninth.
As I say, looks we're ready to go here. Jumping into Clubhouse, let's see what the bans are. I see the ban Thatcher once more, because the bans here are probably going to be what really determines how this game goes.
Yeah, I would be interested to see whether we do see that Thatcher band away again. I think it will be. I actually do. I buy Swansea here.
That. It's really fun to bet Thatcher out.
Yeah, it's fun. There's definitely, it requires you to do things very differently, and it makes it very defender sided as well, which is interesting.
You say that, but the attackers won last, like most of the rounds.
Yeah, okay, right. But instead, we're seeing that Thermite get banned away. Do we see double hard breach get banned? Maybe, because that happened recently.
Maverick should be banned, or Capitao.
Yeah, one of the two. Capitao's Tau is actually really strong on this map. I love him.
Yeah, either Capitao or Maverick, or it's gonna be Thatcher.
Yeah, hey, whatever works. I think the thing which I think would be pretty crippling to see banned away is Thatcher and then Maverick, and you have like no way to open up any of those walls.
Oh no, Thatcher and Jaeger. That's probably the worst.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Banning Jaeger is probably the funniest thing to see, because they just bring grenades, and you just see grenades flying left and right, flashbangs, Sophia lifelines, ash cry stuff.
It certainly is pretty whack.
Those are some whack games, especially now since Wamai isn't available yet. Once Wamai is available, it's be interesting too. Or when Goyo is available soon, because if you guys didn't know, the 3-month period quarantine is now gone, and Goyo and Amaru are now available. Will be available, and soon-ish games.
Yeah, I mentioned, I think, while you were away, how excited I am to kind of see that happen. As you do see Kaid banned away by Lancaster here, and Maestro taken off the board for Swansea. A pretty classic thing to see get taken away, as now we are moving on into the first round here. So, after these bans, after we've seen the Thatcher ban, which we're expecting, but also the Thermite ban, has your opinion changed at all?
It's the Kaid was definitely a ban against that would make sense. So it's not like it's impossible now to get these. Well, see, here's the big thing. Big thing for Clubhouse is hatches, especially when it comes to downstairs. So the fact that Kaid's about banned, it definitely makes it not as ridiculous to see the Thermite ban. The problem is going to be if we go upstairs to CCTV and Cache, how hard is it going to be for them to get into Garage, to get into CCTV? That's a good 6 pick from Jazzian, because Capitao is disgusting on this map.
Mm-hmm. I do agree. And actually, I don't think Lancaster are a particularly good Monty team. On the other hand, last week we saw Monty from Swansea. So that is something which could actually turn up. I don't think it's particularly great. It's okay on this map.
On bank too. That was funny.
It was literally Monty on the attacking side on both sides, and then we also had a clash. It was shield-tastic. It was a very weird series.
It was a very funny series. But yeah, it's just like, Monty, we've seen it play, but I guess for this matchup, maybe they don't think they need it here. It's just this map. I guess because bank makes sense more than anything than bringing Monty.
It's very strong there, so it makes all sense. I do like that they brought the buck. Again, playing vertically, always so key for the way in which you're going to kind of run this round. Moving on to attacking downstairs, especially his basement hold, really key because you have to be hitting it from so many angles to actually really get anything off, because it is kind of difficult to attack at times.
Yeah, it's interesting to see if they bring like if they deal.
Third time's the charm, yeah.
Lane, come on, Lane. But either way, like, it's interesting to see where they put those those X Kairos, and where they use the blowtorch at. Most likely they use the blowtorch on maybe probably kitchen hatch, but will be kind of scary because C4s. Lane and Jake have both of C4s in hands to deal with anybody in kitchen.
Yeah, you do have a lot of ways to kind of deal with that, as Mahi is going to be pretty far away, doesn't ever want to eat a C4 here, and will resolve those X Kairos. Oh, the impact doesn't quite find it. But that won't be enough to actually open the entire thing. It will, however, open that little peek hole to try and be aggressive and pick off someone who is getting a little bit too greedy.
Yeah, so if they use 2 X Kairos, though, they're not going to be able to use it on the church wall either. So it's kind of like they have to pick and choose exactly where to put it.
I'm interested to see how they're planning to do this. I think moving Buck into kitchen here would probably be a good plan. And you just, rather than using it as a way to push in, use it to cut off a lot of the other angles from which they would hold.
So yeah, it's interesting to see if they're gonna push through into church, or if they're gonna go for, because the fact that they're not gonna really get church open very easily, they got to work through into moto into church most likely. I wonder if they've reinforced that wall into Arsenal from the main stairs. That's also an angle that is either helpful for the defense or really helpful for the attack, because you see at least Plebsy's trying to peek into blue. I don't know if he's actually playing in blue even. Oh no, the Jaeger's there.
Yeah.
So the Capital is going to be needed.
Mm-hmm. Hog will very much be able to try and shut down some of those pushes. We have seen Hog hold their ground pretty well as well. So I'm just to see that. They actually move out. And this is great because Plebsy spots this. So they know it's coming. Moves to a different angle. The nade barely slowing Plebsy enough to not move into that angle aggressively. Knows that as a player, takes them down. Though we do see the refrag from Hog, but their team is still down a player.
Yeah, with 46 left to go, there's not a lot here for them. Looks like they're going to push through blue into Arsenal, go for a plant. I don't think there's any rotations from church into blue, so if they can take control of that side section of Arsenal, it could be a really good way for the attacks to get their diffuser down. As you see, at least one Q mine's been hit, so they know they're in blue, though.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they had an idea. They knew that they were kind of moving through there because they did lose a player.
Oh.
Situation. They're just going to drop on in, and we saw this before. Too aggressive. The defending side, though, still has one player alive. They're looking to try and potentially plant this. Pilot needs to start moving and find some of these picks. It's over there. The impact comes on in, but it's a little too late as they do get shot by Bugboy here. And Lancaster pick up round 1 with some aggressive pushes.
Some aggressive pushes. Unfortunately, not a lot of aggression from the defense to deal with them pushing into blue. Again, getting the hatch open in kitchen was a very big thing too, as well, actually, for the defense, or for the defense for the attack.
I mean, the thing is, right, is that blue just went really badly for them because they lost the player who was sitting in the tunnel, just back over the other side early on without basically any repercussions, and then basically just got fragged back on the other player. So it didn't. Yeah. They just lost for no reason because he moved out of the position, even though the Capital hadn't been moved over in order to try and flush them.
Yeah, true. There wasn't. He had the 80s to the 80s and get rid of the grenades and get rid of the flashes. So where were you going at that point? Because you need to stay in blue, at least hinder the attackers from taking blue so quickly. Because they took control of blue, and that was just a long angle. That's the reason why blue to Arsenal is so powerful, because it's such a long angle to play. Especially if you don't have someone in dirt with an angle back into blue. They lost that player who was the Rook, who was supposed to hold the angle. They lost him immediately.
Yeah.
At this point,
sorry.
It's like all good. It's just like that. Yeah, it's just a very unfortunate take, or unfortunate for the defense. They weren't able to hold that. As you see them go back upstairs, see Steven Cash for another try, or a different try.
Yeah, I'm interested to see
what,
like, when we go back to that site, whether they are actually going to have that go radically differently, because I think that's down to a single angel pretty much decided how that was going. Obviously, there were things that happened afterwards, but if you stop that blue push, you can't make those aggressive pushes, and the entire round changes, I feel. So it's interesting to see the way in which we can do this. Why is this down here? Do you normally have that down there?
They're setting up for garage, but they're sealing it off too, though.
Huh.
What? If you're gonna play in garage and they open up those walls in garage along with the wall, I know the thermites are not available, but you still can open up garage And you have the Maverick too, so it's like if you play in garage, it's a death trap.
Yes, super weird. Coach
That
is now
one
going to open this up.
player, yeah, that one player in garage is cut off.
Yeah, there's like no way to get back. It's very difficult, especially now that this is open. This means the Buck can just, do their thing. Open this up,
Yeah.
and now it's much more difficult to try and hold this site. As the smoke used before the 2-minute mark, that is not what you want to see.
That was a very quick use of the Toxicancer, especially now if they work now together to deal with the person on the balcony, have coach watch for the rotate either from the window. That player in garage is now gone. They can try and push from garage. The main thing too is the fact the wall is reinforced though, so it's kind of like it's hard to get into sites. But you can also someone just run from if you smoke out that breach hole or at least from this door. Oh.
How is Bug Boy getting shot like this? This is obscene. You are feeling yourself a little bit too much there, Swansea. We're trying to play from below and just eating shots left, right, and center. Hog falling early on here though does get refragged by Jake. That refrag really important here.
So did they get the wall open, or what happened? It looks like Jake tried to just walk in.
They did.
Yeah, look at Jason just trying to walk in.
Bit greedy. And we've seen that time and time again where they just try and walk in and it really isn't an effective strategy.
No, not at all. If they can take control of garage and then just kind of smoke it out, open that window and just plant behind the server rack, it really get easy. It was going to be an easy round for the attack.
It really is. They need to kind of set up for that though. Whether they can get in position is a different matter. Bug Boy now looking to hold that. Dealing with the player just to the right as you walk in as well is going to potentially be one of those key points. Plebsy getting taken down here.
You just walk to the stairs.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't just walk in. Like, what is going on?
Some very rookie errors, honestly. Had his blowtorch out. What's going on here, Coach?
Yeah, Lancaster, I don't understand what you just did here. This could have been an easy round. If you took control of garage, you open up the window, you smoke out the sight line so you can walk in rather than just walking in plain sight.
Yeah, this was just a botched round from basically about 20 seconds ago when they tried to walk in, really didn't get away with it. If Mahi wins this round, that's not okay. They really do not deserve to win this round. Mahi, though, will not be able to find that final player, and Swansea will pick up round 2, evening the score out 1-1.
So that was just a mesh of just forced engagements from the attacking team of Lancaster, walking in through the breach hole, trying to take fights, walking into garage, trying to take fights, walking up the stairs of server stairs, trying to take fights.
Yeah, this reminds me, and I'm not going to name who, but at a certain university tournament, it wasn't for Rainbow Six, but it was a League of Legends player who decided, hey, we're going to go play in this CS tournament. And he said, wow, it's really easy. You just walk onto site and headshot people. And literally the exact same situation happened to them. They walked onto site and just got obliterated. You cannot do this. Look, I know you nearly won the round, but you really shouldn't have. You would have been able to win the round much easier if you played sensibly, played to your outs, and just dismantled the defense because you had so many advantages. You had a lot of utility, and it was just all in your hands and you threw it out.
That was definitely a round that Lancaster should have had. Especially because it's been, yes, it's defense sided on Clubhouse. But that defense from Swansea was one that just kind of put a lot of people in, it really allowed them to take territory they shouldn't have been able to take. And so we'll see him go back downstairs to Church and Arsenal. And even before he says you saw something different from this time on this defense.
I like this this pulse. I think it's going to be really cool and interesting to see. Especially to deal with potentially if they try and get something going on the B site from above from kitchen, it's able to deal with that, and also if they're trying to basically do any of that kind of pressuring from above, because Pulse tells you where they are, how they're going to move. If they're trying to move it to blue from the side, you'll have early warnings for that.
Should be a pretty normal attack here. You see them open up the Rawls. Actually, Bob Boy's taking a lot of damage. I think his C4 may have been used already, as he's taken 90 damage at least at this point.
It does. Buck Boy. On this Buck. Already took a lot of damage early on in this round. Needs to survive because they are pretty key to kind of pressuring, especially via kitchen.
So I'm assuming it's going to be the same as that attack where they're just going to open up in the blue and push
Yeah.
downwards and get rid of the defenders. But we'll see exactly what happens. See, hopefully the Jaeger this time of Hog can hold it for longer than 20 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's going to be very key. I think that's definitely the place where the biggest impact is going to be really held. As coach is kind of, during that droning, setting up. This is the alibi. It's set up there, but they know that there's a player right behind the door. The flashes are going to come in, but they're just going to be eaten up by the Jaeger. So they do manage to deal with Hog and clearing that player out of blue pretty painlessly. This is really, really good for the offensive side, as now it's going to be so much easier to push up aggressively because there's basically nothing to be contested, really. That was so greedy there from Skills.
Oh, but he shoots the alibi instead. But either way, they even use a Capitol Bolt or Firebolt to deal with them. So let's say take control of blue. Bob Boy gets pilot. Now it's down to just 2v4.
Do you see Jake trying to do at least something here?
Bomb has been located.
Is right up against the wall. Needs to worry because that isn't actually reinforced and could easily get sprayed through if we do see a pre-fire. But still, players playing in that blue. The alibi of lane trying to do something here. The plant does go down. They move out into the corridor, get taken down instantaneously. Jake, the last remaining player, 1v4, and now moving upstairs to try and get something, anything. But with the diffuser down and so many players, it's not impossible.
Yeah, there's 4 players you got to deal with. He's trying to find something. I don't know if the hatch is even opened up here. It is actually. So he'll see an angle 1 player below the hatch, but it won't matter. That player of Jazzing will finish him off, and Lancaster take another round here on a preferred site.
This is really weird as well because this is the second round in a row on this site where blue, the player in blue just did nothing. They just died for free. And it really shouldn't be a situation like that, or gave up blue for free. And from there, you're able to mount a much better defense, and you really can't afford to concede that, I feel.
I definitely agree. It shouldn't be as easy as just shooting down the hatch to get the kill onto Hog there. Hog didn't need to move whatsoever unless it was a grenade. He had there was no ADSs left, but he shouldn't have been moving in a way that allowed for the buck of Bog Boy to get that kill.
Yeah. It's definitely strange, to say the least. They've been giving up a lot of these frags. We saw that Swansea actually were able to individually play quite well in all their positions. And this time, they're showing an uncharacteristic weakness here in specifically blue. Because we actually saw them in round 2 play pretty clean and punished any of those really greedy pushes that would otherwise have made them fall apart.
Yeah, it was the player as well. One player tries to rotate back into blue when you know at that point they've taken control after killing Hogs, which is very odd. It's just like, would you not expect them to be there at that point? And as just to Hog, you only saw 2 flashes go down to burn the ADSs. Where was the other ADSs yet? I guess you don't really need. You haven't seen them push their church wall yet, so why do you even want to place one over there?
True. I think what was trying to happen was the Pulse was attempting to pre-fire, but it just didn't work out because they were watching the angle.
True,
they just responded to it. And he wasn't even firing as he came around the corner or anything. So it was just strange to see.
Definitely
Bob Boy on 6 kills. Wow.
Yeah, Bob Boy's going off. And it's just it's very not exactly adapting to what exactly here is happening in blue. It looks like Lisa's trying to get aggressive. Jake's playing the Vigil this time, so I don't know if actually he's roaming or not.
Yeah. Again, as I said before, I like the Vigil. It's really strong for these kind of teams. Oh, 4 just about remain, which means they do actually get that opening. Nice play there by Mahi to keep the X-Kairos alive even after that impact.
So now with that hatch open to 1 X-Kairos rather than 2, that's actually a lot of utility cell left for the Habana of Mahi. And Vigil, I don't know if Vigil's even roaming even. Is he on site with Vigil? That was Hog is aggressive against Plebsy.
Where did you go down, Plebsy? It moved into blue very aggressively. That's a big mistake. This time, Hog does actually manage to hold blue. That's very
actually no. That was a peak. Basically, he peeked the he peeked up the stairs and won the fight somehow, even though it was an ACOG on this side of Plebsy. Great shots from Hog, and he still can hold on blue. Looks like they're going to use those flashbangs to get rid of the ADSs, but still, as I say that, Jake will get aggressive again. Now Jay-Z, and this is, I guess, maybe the aggression is what they need.
Indeed, it could be. I mean, that very impressive so far. Managed to do things we would normally expect from them. I like that Hog is mixing things up and actually playing blue pretty intelligently this time, moving to different positions, trying to force out that utility and wasting a lot of time. We're at more minute 20. Jake found a frag as well on this vigil. Things are really looking up for the side of Swansea.
Yeah, at this point, it looks like they're trying to find another way to push this site. You'll see some rotations or some droning from Coach instead of Tunnel, but there's still a player in blue. There's still got players upstairs as well. You still get the visual of Jake running around, so there's a lot of work to be done as Coach gets to kill Lane, and then he's going to jump to the hatch as Skids gets one. There's a refrag from Bog Boy.
I mean, we saw that the players were practicing on T-Hunt, just dropping down hatches, dropping shots into everyone they can find. Really showcasing their aim right now. It's 2 versus 2. And with the diffuser down, the attackers are very much favored here.
It looks like one's pushing into Arsenal.
Coach can't see anyone from this position. As they get aggressive, take down Bog Boy. This is interesting to see. They've got half of the clock remaining on the diffuser. They're trying to push him. Takes one. The peek comes in from Jake there. Gets the spray down with the SMG-12. And does win out the round for the defender, taking it to 2-2.
That was a close one from Swansea. Almost lost out. Thank good. It was a good rotation from the attack to go for different pushes to jump down the hatch and go for that plant rather than try and keep pushing blue. But unfortunately, they couldn't deal with the roamers coming back. Hog getting one, and then Bog Boy getting taken down. And he has to take down 2, which he didn't get one. But good thing that Jake was right behind Hog in that manner. So CCTV and Cash this time. Hopefully see it. If I see the same exact defense here from Swansea, I hope this time that Lancaster can take advantage of it.
Yeah, because it certainly wasn't effective the last time we saw it. I do at least like the bringing out the Mozzie this time, because I think Mozzie's really good. And I really am interested to see whether they'll be able to do that. But if they put someone in the garage, I'm going to be really, really confused because it was garbage, like literally really bad. I want to see them go with a more standard style, and maybe that time they won't have to hard clutch out the round and hope that Mahi just can't find that last person. I like this Valkyrie as well, bringing that again. You've seen it in a couple of rounds. Will allow them to kind of keep control, know how they're going to be moving, and especially if they're expecting something from the garage, they can utilize the Valk to cover that more than they otherwise would.
I think they're making a rotation this time at least too. It looks like they're making a rotation, not reinforcing all of it, not bringing a castle. Looks like someone's they may be putting a shield behind it or someone to play in the back. But, if they use the Maverick correctly, that's not really possible. As Skilled's trying to get a first kill.
Okay, I appreciate the hustle. Won't unfortunately find it this time.
So it looks like a normal defense here from the side of Swansea. Mozzie playing downstairs with the pest available to deny information. Yeah. Somebody's right outside the window.
Maybe looking to do a ward run out. They hear that hit though, and they are very much aware that that's coming. Hibana going to open this up, and from there, that forces out this player who is on this bottom floor. They really need to start moving as soon as they possibly can. Surprised that result. That's mute jammed. Only some of that is mute jammed. Wow, that is so unfortunate.
That looks really weird. Anyway, they can't get all the open. So, they see one there. Coach can't make his shots. That's really unfortunate, but he finally makes it. Gets a headshot on Skills. He gets rid of the player in garage. So at this point, now the attacker should be able to take garage no issue.
Yeah, they should. Well played on their regard.
Actually, no. I think
after those first few shots, it was okay. Well played.
Yeah, after for sure.
Good angle.
Actually, no. Molly's still below in lounge, and you still have. I think the Valkyrie is playing in the back of garage as well. So there's still some people to deal with if they push garage.
Yeah. We should be very careful, but I do like the position that they've set up now. As Mahi can put a lot of pressure down from that angle, in combination with opening up the other part. Feeling pretty good now. You can start to set up with smokes, use the Capital, and just push on in. That's all you need to do, I feel, if you go to the top floor.
Could do that. Yeah, they could do that. Looks like Plebsy's going to push into garage. It's one kill. Actually, it's a team kill on by Jake, but Jake gets a kill to Plebsy. Jazzy gets like Jake and a refrag. In this point, yeah, if they can just push into garage and go for a plant, I think Coach has the diffuser. and they just did. Now it's on the defense to try and deny the plants.
Here they are, Pilot looking to get a little bit closer, a little bit more personal. Someone's trying to push in through that wall. Doesn't even find the frag. Though, luckily, Pilot is covering their teammates. The asphyxiation bolt really going to stop them from getting all too aggressive. And behind that server rack, it's going to be difficult to do anything, especially if you take a bullet to the head like that.
Yeah, Mahi goes for the behind, goes through the flank, and finishes off the Valkyrie. That's a really good play from the defense. So, no, what's it? No, not from the attack. But either way, the defense, they looked like it was a normal kind of defense, but unfortunately, they didn't have enough to deal with. Skills also, getting killed out early was not really unfortunate for the defense too. Losing that player on the garage rafters.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Shouldn't have been really standing up in the same way. You need to be aware that you expose yourself in said manner if you're doing that. Not a lot of awareness, unfortunately, from Skills in that situation.
Surprised not bringing the Echo either, actually.
Yeah, as I say, I like the Mozzie and the Valkyrie. I feel like the Echo is just better, especially in this specific site. I think it's really good here because you can put the Echo with the Jaeger, sorry, with the ADSs behind in Garage, and you can impact the map even without them being more present.
Yeah, there's no IQ either to deal with Yokai, so it's very surprising not bringing it along. As we retry this site for a third time now.
Yep. And as we saw earlier when Pilot was trying to put down some of those cams, third time's the charm.
It's funny because like all these maps have been attacker sided so far.
Yeah.
Like, even this right now, it's 3-2 in the favor of the attackers. What?
And especially with Thatcher and Thermite banned, that's strange to see.
Yeah, I know it gives way to like Jacko and Capital and Gridlock and Nomad now available with no issue, but it's very attacker sided for very much. I'm just confused with how attacker sided it is, even though we're playing on Clubhouse, we're playing on Cafe.
It will be. Gonna see the Maverick perform the exact same thing again. Struggling a little bit this time with that breaching torch.
Again, the mute.
That is really unfortunate.
He still has a peek hole into the window, but nobody's actually even there. So I think he's done that like twice now, and nobody's even at that angle.
Yeah, the breaching torch will manage to get rid of that wall. They'll open it up again and go for a pretty standard push at the current moment. I mean, it's standard for a reason, very strong. Unfortunately, losing Jazian on his Capital really kind of hurts because those smoke bolts, really strong for you.
Especially when I cross that breach into sight, just deny sight lines. It's very helpful to have that there. Though we'll lose it early. They have no control of Garage in either, so this is kind of like the work now. What exactly are they going to do to take Garage from the defenders? This time seems like having a bit of an issue. Especially no Capital, you can't use Firebolts to deny the Jaeger of Skills up there. Or even the Valkyrie who's playing in the back.
Something going to be difficult, but it's all the way back there. Whether they'll be able to rotate them in on time is going to be pretty relevant here. But, two frags for the defending side as Lancaster just move on in again very aggressively and just ceding control of this round. Big mistake, honestly. See one go down. Oh, Plebsy finding some good shots. Aware of the other players, but unfortunately not aware of the one sitting in Garage. Finishes them off. And Swansea, pick up round 6, taking it 3-3 in this hub.
3-3 at the half here for Swansea on their defense. It's not that bad, but also still a win for the attack. So this should be Lancaster now to, really take it, run it on their defense. But at the same point, we've seen this attacker side so far. It's been attacker sided this entire matchup.
It certainly has been. But 3-3 could be that. Amaru being picked. Is that legal or are they six picking that away?
Yeah,
I think it's quite legal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's quite legal. Yeah, on this league.
No.
Okay.
It'll be fun to see, but they're going to be taking that buck, and I actually think that buck is far, far better here.
Hey, but they have the Capital lead.
They do. It's really nice. I like it.
I like the gun skins. I don't like the skin itself though. I don't like the
It
how
looks
he has that
funky.
throw and everything. And I like it's weird because he's all those he has in civilian clothes and he's got the throw and everything too.
It's true.
But either way, we'll see Lancaster on their first defense here on CCTV and Cash. How exactly they form this defense.
Yeah, I mean, we've got that Maverick yet again, this time on Swansea side, setting up for a very similar thing. Pretty much the exact same compositions. I do believe they even had the Zephyr. The interesting thing is that we've got the Dock for Jalzium this time, rather than anything like the Echo, which is something I really feel would be more fitting for this site.
Yeah, I kind of agree too. It would be probably more fitting for this, but they're not bringing it along. It's just I don't know. Maybe they don't like to play it.
Yeah, I mean, you do see this a lot where teams just don't like to do something, and therefore they do not. I'm trying to set up this, making sure that there are no runouts.
I
Pilot,
guess just comfort picks at that point.
yeah. You're going to try and clear out some of this garage while they set this on up. Going at it, trying to be quick. Opening up the top part first. So we'll get that off. Probably going back at it. Now, the thing I'm interested in seeing is how are they going to push on in properly? Because that's something I'm actually kind of expecting from Swansea to do a lot better than what we saw from the Lancaster side, where they were kind of very sloppy, especially on specifically this site.
Yeah, I see them opening up. It looks like they're trying to go for the Maverick trick where you Maverick the top and bottom and then you Habana to make the giant hole. So it looks like they're trying to go for that trick right now. Grenade comes through from the Brown hole. Looks like it caught by ADS. Actually, no, it does down Coach instead. Actually, really good grenade here from Lane.
Yeah, if they can now try and act on this very quickly, they can potentially make a very rapid push on in. There's a player trying to do something that will actually get them back up, so that time frame is closed, but still did a lot of damage to the defending side. Nade can be thrown in. Won't quite find anything this time.
So what's the issue here? They can't they haven't Maverick the full entire thing. So it looks like the Habanas will now finally go off. It's a bit of just a weird hole though.
Yeah, it certainly is strange. Not what I was expecting coming into this. Seattle though, picking up Jerseyan. Nice early pick. That's what we want to see. And they're starting to take control of the garage from here.
So big thing, at least there's one person and below Oil Pibby Bog Boy to get killed Hog. At least denies some take of the garage, but one person will take their place and they'll take control of the garage either way. So that's still an issue with 44 seconds left to go.
It is. Going to be moving up. Blue stairs here. Starting to make sure they're not going to be trying to push up behind. But they've still got this control of garage. It's going to be very difficult to really do it. The smoke does come in, trying to really stop them for a little bit. There are still players waiting at the stairs. Pilot does get downed. Big opportunity. There's still a lot of smokes. 20 seconds left on the clock. This is so good for Plebsy here. It's going to be very difficult for them to really stop them. Though, they get this player behind the rack. They drop the diffuser, and Jake gets executed by Plebsy here. That smoke doing a great job. Finally taken down. 5 seconds on the clock. Needs to go for the defuse. Lane is going to go for it. Gets spotted. Is not going to go down.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Are you okay?
What? You saw it?
That was yours! That was so free!
You were shooting at him.
I mean, they win the round anyway here because the two remaining players are downed, but because he finishes him off through the wall.
Yeah, he finished well anyway, but
well,
still,
that hurt. That hurt to watch.
That hurt my heart to see that. That was crazy. You were literally seeing him on his screen just shooting at him, and he doesn't.
Absolutely insane position.
Oh, good work from Lancaster, I guess, but that was still really odd.
Odd to be sure, as they take the first round of their defensive half. And they're now moving to Arsenal and Church. Pretty standard. I'm interested to see how they can do this without making a really clutch play from below, because actually, I really do feel as though, other than the smoke being particularly good in that situation, they were potentially destined to lose that round.
Yeah, it was a really back and forth, but it was a really good response from the last two defenders, though. Like, at least they weren't giving up. They
Yeah,
really
that's
able
true.
to take it back. So it's not like it wasn't like a dominating. It should have been like it should have been win for them, but definitely there was a point in that round where they could have easily they could have taken it away.
Yeah, they could. Nothing particularly stand out in terms of compositions. I want to see how blue is played here, just as like a check to see if you can play blue for this Lancaster side. Interesting to see if they will have that practice properly or not, because we did see some pretty abysmal blue play early on from Hog there, and if that happens again, I think that makes this site so much weaker if you cannot play blue properly specifically, because it's just so key in the way if they're attacking from that side, your entire thing can just fall apart if they put one person in there, because it just allows you access onto both sides and puts pressure onto both sides.
Definitely agree there. Yeah, they definitely need to deny that. Hopefully Bogboy can play with a different time than Hog did, because Hog could not stay with this at all. Really, it's interesting too. They had an ACOG like the Rook one time in tunnel, but they never did it again after that.
The Nomad here is definitely going to be useful if you're expecting someone to kind of rotate around, but it doesn't actually look like they're really setting up for that. I think really what it's going to be used for is splitting up the kind of rotations between site once you've kind of got a lockdown. If you take control for blue, for example, or if you take control of hallway and try to go in the back of church. Jake looking to try and open this up. We'll actually get that. There might be the impact coming in, but looks like it's fine. No one really going to stop him there. And we'll just be trying to check, making sure there's no one there so they can try and find the frags if someone rotates carelessly. Drone gets spotted out there. Does go down, and it's a bit painful to see, but they at least have a couple more. So are going to just drop down on into the site and start to scout out what the remainder of the defense is doing. Nice setup here. Has really forced out this player from the back. They've also managed to get in dirt. Starting to put pressure onto the players on Arsenal here. But Mahi taking down Jake early on. It's a good thing to see. And the kind of thing they need to relieve a lot of that pressure that's being put down.
Yeah, they didn't bring Maverick along either, so that means it's the only Heart Breacher available too. So no Maverick, no Blowtorch. Now it's a lot harder for them to push, though. They have Kitchen Hatch open, though, so they have at least angles. Though there is some refuge, though, like Blue or Moto. Plebsy gets skills.
Yeah, it's been a good defense so far. Finding some really nice shots. Playing with that little bit of aggression, which is necessary. Mahi finally going down Moton lane.
So looks like there's one player playing it. Oh, the tunnel right there is a shot, though, from Hogs. Hog takes up Bog, but Coach with a fantastic shot on the Hog and a refrag.
Yeah, shouldn't have got caught out like that. Hog with some nice play to get that, but Pigs too aggressively. Lancaster finish off the round and, well, now move themselves up to 5-3, feeling a lot more at home on the defensive side.
Yeah, it's not going to take it away now. It's 5-3. It's really taking it away, really. But at the same point, it's 2 rounds so far. Now they got to play that tertiary state of Gibbon bedroom. This is the site that really defines whether or not we're going to be ending this match here.
They did. I mean, Swansea, I just want to see that a little bit more from you, because you're actually really close to taking some of these rounds. It's just when it comes to kind of those entries, you're losing the duels and you're not setting up to do it as a team where you're like going one after another, getting a refrag or just getting a free setup because you're working in tandem. It's disappointing to see, because I know they can work together and they can turn this around, but they really need to get their asses into gear if they're going to do that. Because Lancaster, terrifying team to play against.
Yeah, these defensive rounds definitely seems like they know what they're doing here on defense compared to Cafe. So these strategies are really fleshed out. And now we have to see it really comes down to Swansea needing to figure out how to deal with it, because you can't just push it like normal. You can't just be trying to find these fights or not drone out, not have the information, and just be caught off guard.
Absolutely can't. I like that they're bringing I mean, it's pretty much necessary to bring the castle here. And I like that they've brought Chelsea on it.
10 seconds to insertion.
I am interested to see because they're bringing the smoker. They're really expecting these kind of late game rounds, and I actually think that's pretty fair because most of what happens with Swansea is either they get picked off early and they lose the round because they've lost a couple of players, specifically against Lancaster here, or we get to that late game and it's really down to that final bit of execution. And I think having that smoke really helps it become so much easier. And we saw that because in those last 20 seconds of the first defensive round of this half, it was complete and utter just smoke controlling it. And that's why we got to the situation where you had to see that Habana rush in and actually get caught off guard.
Yeah, they need to get the information. They can't be getting caught off guard like that, especially on this attack. Because this is coming down to the last few rounds. It's already 5-3 in the favor of Lancaster. They need to be doing this with a informative strategy, not just kind of rushing it or haphazardly moving forward.
Yeah, they can't. They do manage to get rid of the hard reinforce here. Jake takes a bit of damage from the bandit box, but they are going to open up. Yeah. Drones come on in. Pilot. Looking at that a little bit more. Notice that there's just a hell of a lot of ADSs in this room. As the Echo puts their yokai down in that room as well. So definitely trying to keep them off of that. But it looks like it's going to be Lane really opening up toilet here, which is going to make things very difficult for the guy who's sitting in that. Does go down almost instantaneously. Yeah. Really nice play there by Lane. Big mistake by Jake. Pushing way too far forward. However, Lane will find the second frag of the round. Concussion comes on in. Lane looking for a way to get aggressive here. The legs a little bit showing there. Needs to be careful.
Gabby showing those feet off. And Jazzy takes the place of where the Maverick was looking last time of Jake. So this is actually an angle they may not be aware of for the attackers of Lancaster. But I say that, not Lancaster, for Swansea. There's a good capital boat.
It is. I like Mahi's also down here. They really need to start rotating because I think this pressure is starting to come out thick and fast from the attackers as they have now open toilet. They've got the diffuser over there. They've got a bunch of players ready. They're droning it all out. Things are about to go down here.
It's coming to an execute. 30 seconds left to go. They need to push into garage.
Yeah, and they now know exactly where Bog Boy is. Yeah, they got the diffuser going down. They have no idea where it is. Oh, bad peek there, but a good C4 will deal with Skills. The diffuser does not go down. That's so unfortunate for Skills. They had no idea they were there. Opening up
but it's
that
9
wall.
seconds.
Yeah, no, 4 seconds on the clock. Mahi is the last remaining one, though, as Bog Boy goes down. It's 1 versus 1. The plant is going to go through. They know exactly where they are, but
Swansea!
looking in the wrong place, they didn't use the available information.
What information was there, though? Because I don't think they
you
knew
could
that
see that no one was planting in the other room, and the only place
True, yeah. It was a very, at this last second there, the fact that they allowed for the attackers to pick the diffuser back up and go for the play was a big issue there. I know you don't want to take the fights because time's running out, but you can't allow them to take the diffuser and walk off and go back for a plant, allowing you, because the biggest thing there was no information up. There wasn't a Valkyrie, there wasn't an Echo, there wasn't anybody in the lineup to say, hey, they're planting right here. You can go for the play, you can go for the kill.
Needs a bit more respect for that. And the fact that they will go for that plant. They're not just going to give up without a fight. This is the finals. We're here in the final map of the final game, of the final series of the entirety of the winter season. And we're at 5-4. These players are very much down to the wire. And they must be getting pretty tired.
Yeah. This is coming down to the last. This is really late, actually. This is really late for both teams. But big thing though is that because they lost that round, or even if they lost that round, they still can have 2 more rounds now where they can win on this preferred sites, CCTV and Church and Arsenal. Though their CCTV defense was a bit iffy. It was very close, actually.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean,
10 seconds left.
I'm really mad that Jazzian is still playing this dog. Play Echo, you coward. It's so good.
You called him a coward.
Doc. No, okay. Don't play Echo, you can. Play Echo, you idiot. Echo's so good. I bring so much utility. We saw, for example, post-plan situations which really could have just been avoided if Jazzian wasn't on Doc instead was on Echo, where the Yokai drones just wreak havoc in those situations. Alongside that smoke, it's almost impossible to get it down. You can play more passive like you were in the prior round. You just need to set up to do it properly.
Especially because no IQ on the board. We've seen neither team bring in IQ either, so it's like the Yokais would be not say free reign because you still can find them. They're easy to see now in this recent patch, but it's still better than not having them at all. That's information that's planted now. You could use at least use.
Indeed it is. Jake needs to be very careful. They will get rid of that wall, and now this is a good opportunity for the rest of the team to just open that on up. Pilot taking a little bit of damage, getting a little bit too close to the action. Now, going with a pretty standard strat. This is what I like to see.
Yep. Same as always. Should be the takeover garage now. They have the capital to deal with the person on garage balcony, but they need to do it efficiently, as it's already been a minute gone by.
Yeah, you need to start properly moving into that. Looks like they might be opening the entirety of this if that's what Jake wants to go for. No, decides against it. He's instead just going to hold very passively and drone everything out.
Like they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do first. Like figure out where everybody is. There is a mute jammer though, so they're built too, and so they have the top of the garage wall open, so they can at least capital bolt somebody inside of the window, or now just get into garage as well.
Dude, they'll get rid of some of that utility on the wall as Pilot opens up garage, making sure there's no one below. They did get shot from there before, but there's only one player left in garage, and they're still up there. They can see where they are. The asphyxiating bolts really should be coming in. Does force them out a little bit. They will jump over. They're getting super aggressive here. Hog does deal with Jazzy as they do jump on down. Won't be quite enough. Jake needs to be very careful because there are players right next to them. Opens up the hole so they can get even more aggressive and bring a little bit extra sightlines to the team. But 45 seconds on the clock. Should start doing something. The plant is exactly that something which I'm looking for. As Pilot will be starting that, looking like it's going to go down. The C4 does come out, stops them, the buzzer beater, as it hits the back of the net. Nice play there. Bugboy finds a frag, has the shotgun, does Coach. Coach is looking for this, but there's the cover. Lane was holding it, and as a result, the diffuser will get planted. Mahi jumps on in, doesn't get the spray. This is not looking good for the defending side. Bugboy is the last remaining player against 3. Sure, Jake has no health, but there are 2 remaining players regardless, even if they go down instantaneously. And with the diffuser down, it's so difficult to make anything happen. Takes down Lane. Takes down Jake. There's only one left here. You have a lot of time to work with. Has no idea where they are. Wants to look for it. You just need to go for that diffuse, but as soon as they do it, they should have been able to see them. They're going to jump out. They don't get the spray. Swansea win round 10, bringing it 5-5.
That is what quite a round from the attackers. The defense not able to retake there, and again, Echo would be nice there.
Yeah, it really would have been. I mean, realistically, Jazzian died anyway at the start of that round because he got flushed out of out of garage. So it wouldn't have been super relevant, but still, you should really be setting yourself up for that properly. We will see.
There's definitely a lot of ways they could deny that, and they didn't bring the operators for it. It looks like finally Coach is picking up the Echo.
It's finally there. Thank God for that. It's very strong. And they're going to be going to Church Arsenal Room. I think, obviously, Echo's really strong there. And if they can stimmy the initial aggression from the offensive side, things really start to go in their favor. And they succeeded on the site before. Why aren't they going to do it again?
Yeah, it really seems like Swansea are now picking up on how they adapt to what the way that they're doing these defenses here for Lancaster. It's really working out for them. But at the same point, they could easily change things up for the defense. They definitely bring up the Yokais this time, so which should help them out. Though this time is a bit of a change. Hog's playing the gridlock this time, which is different than usual.
I mean, if they're expecting someone to do roaming and try and move between sites, I think Gridlock's really strong. Highlighted it before. Fills a similar niche to Nomad. Allows you to be a bit more. It means you don't have to be as active on, for example. So for air jab, you need to be there to really stop it. with Gridlock, you can kind of fire and forget. You leave it there. If they walk through it, they take some damage. If they shoot it, you hear them. You know what's happening. With an air jab, you need to be there to like properly punish it. Coach, keeping an eye on Dirt. They did get attacked from Dirt before, so definitely prudent to do so.
Yeah, it looks like they're being aware of where the angles they come from. As last time, it looks like Jake already made a hole into Dirt as well. So this is definitely something to be wary of.
They're gonna have to be pretty wary. It's gonna be difficult, honestly, because we've seen them hold this site very well, and even with the buck, which I think brings a lot of pressure to it, it's still gonna be hard. That was a nice.
Yeah, that was a nice call out there from Hog, it looks like. And Hog bringing the gridlock too is interesting because it's like I haven't seen the defenders be that aggressive. So it's like, why are the tracks going to be? I guess they could be very useful, like maybe post plant, but before that they could be not nearly useful. So we'll see them opening up the floor lane, looking for anybody in Arsenal.
That was a really nice impact.
He's gonna try it again. Another impact track coming out.
Yeah, the need comes on in to try and dissuade that. Was that enough?
Yep, that was enough. Good work.
Yes.
Grenade along to dissuade or prevent or deter the impact trick from the Legion. So now they've gotten open. So they have the angles to go from Dirt into Arsenal and make that push with the the overarching angle above the hatch. So this could work out for the attack.
Yeah, well, they're putting it in blue. That's definitely a very interesting position for it to go.
And
they're also going to drop one down there. This is weird.
Yes. Very odd. But we'll see what happens. This could be maybe it will help out when they go for that push back up for retake if they get that plant down.
True. I mean, you're kind of putting the cart before the horse here, I feel, because they struggle to even get to that point where you're getting the plant and looking at a retake situation in prior rounds. So I think you really need to kind of focus more on actually getting on in. There's a player right there now. Skills. Trying to peek this a little bit, make sure nothing goes all too wrong. Was not expecting a player to be right there and facing the other way as well. What on earth was Mahi doing?
That was weird from Mahi. He had the shotgun out, so he's waiting for an angle to get a shot, but he's looking the wrong way. Doesn't really help if you're looking the wrong way. Jake is one of the coach. It's falling apart here a little bit for the defense. Oh.
Frags abound as the attack drops on in. Bogboy, though, picks up lane, and it is 1 versus 2 now. Bogboy trying to go for it. Knows that they're planting, doesn't know where. There's a player above, has to be very careful as the diffuser does go down. And now it's Bogboy versus 2. This is going to be very difficult, and now we are in this post-plant situation. The track stingers going to bring a lot to the table. There's a player in the kitchen. Where there's going to be a player here peeking all the way out. But Swansea pick it up, and we go 6-5 in Swansea's favour. Going to match point, but...
So we see some Swansea forward. I love how we see it before these teams are adapting so well, where they lose that first few rounds and then they pick it up.
And that is very, very Swansea. They are very adept at just picking that up and learning from their teams. And you could tell that they are this kind of veteran team. And that's why they won the summer. And it's why they're still succeeding even now.
So now we are 5-6 in the favor. We go back to Church and Arsenal or maybe last round here for Lancaster. As this so far, it just seems as though the attacking team of Swansea have their number. They know what they're doing, and they know how to defeat them every way. This is a 6 pick from a Nomad to Habana, though. So that means they're bringing, I guess, that's an easy pick. What did they not have last time? I guess they had the Gridlock. They didn't have the Maverick? No, they had the Maverick.
Yeah,
too.
Did they? I don't think they had the Capital, did they?
Oh, but no, yeah. I think Hog was playing the Gridlock. Yeah, Hog was playing the Gridlock. So they're dropping the Gridlock. They're bringing a Capital.
No, that's fair. Capital's pretty good.
Yeah, so they're not bringing any kind of operator for that denial of that rotation, which maybe they didn't think they needed. The tracks weren't that helpful anyway. They kind of were helpful in hindering the Bog Boy on that retake, but he was the only one left. So maybe it's why.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is, right, is. Realistically, that Gridlock didn't do all too much, and I think bringing those extra smokes and the asphyxiating bolt is going to be really important here. If they're looking to try and recreate the set that they just had, but easier, because that got relatively close. I'm glad that these final rounds and this entire series has been so down to the wire. I've seen some really, really one-sided finals before, and with Lancaster coming to this, I genuinely did feel they're the team to beat. They're so strong, and I was worried that we were going to have this, but Swansea really showing that they age like a fine wine.
Yeah, it's really it's so good to see them get so close. It's like adapt so well. They know what they're doing. They play a different strat every single time. Two-mate every single time, but they do it differently, and they're still able to get their way because that much closer to winning it.
Dude, they are. I like kind of jiggle picking this, making sure there's no one playing aggressive up here. Better to be safe than sorry for sure. This could be it now for Swansea. You have to be kind of anxious if you're on this Lancaster side. You lose another round and you hand Swansea their second NUEL championship.
It's looking to be pretty bad, but at the same point, like the fact that they're retrying the site again is kind of a little worrisome. But at the same point, we see Jake here opening the hatch up, and we'll see exactly how they deny this kind of push from them. Hopefully, they can understand and adapt well here for Lancaster. As it looks like he's having problems opening this hatch, though. Wow. Oh boy.
Yeah, that really should not have taken that many breaching torches, I have to say. We are going to be opening up a lot of those hatches, though. So now going to be open and, again, making those sightlines aggressively onto the site.
And so this is different. They didn't open Moto hatch last time, I don't think. And I don't know if they opened kitchen hatch either yet. So this is a different attack, it seems like, from Swansea, as they're not seeming to go for that dirt blue or dirt and kitchen hatch take.
You don't. Nice shot there by Skilts, picking up Plebsy. Using this vertical play very much to their advantage.
Smoke.
Yeah, but there's only 55 seconds left on the clock.
Still, that's 3 toxic cancers to waste time.
Oh, sorry.
If they know where
Yeah, no,
the
losing the smoke is difficult. But the attacking side really need to start doing something because it's only 45 seconds now. And actually, that yokai can be really, really relevant too.
With no IQ on the board, they can't deny the yokai. So looks like Jake will push into dirt.
Yeah, and they have very little information due to this mute. Picking up Jazian is good though. The Legion is no longer allowed to do anything. The peak coming out. The yokai unable to stop the diffuser. No, does stop the diffuser, at least for now. Mahi goes down though. That is that mute. Nice play. Oh, Bog Boy gets the frag as well.
Oh.
Takes down Jake. This could be it. 10 seconds on the clock. Drops down. Lane deals with Bog Boy. They're looking to try and get this plant down, but Coach is the last running member. Gets the spray. Takes down two. 2 seconds left on the clock. Pulls it back from the very precipice as Lancaster. We're going to overtime, baby.
What a
Absolutely.
play from Hog Boy in the corner. They did not know he was in the corner behind the shield. And then to top it off, right in the corner, the Bearing 9 was Coach on that Echo to deny 2 members from planting in that same spot below the hatch.
And yeah, and we were talking earlier, hey, you guys should pick Echo. Echo's really good at denying plants. What did we see there? Echo utilizing that yokai to completely stop any sort of plant. Used it. We then saw Bog Boy and Coach himself pick up on that and take the play onwards. Fantastic play by Lancaster to take this to 6-6.
What a round from Lancaster to keep them in the game. But we'll see a 6 pick from Smoke onto a Warden of all things. This isn't Bank. I don't know where you're going to put the Warden exactly. Maybe you can put him blue with 3 ADSs, though the ADSs aren't really what he needs. I don't know where they can put a Warden, actually. Maybe in Dirt Tunnel? Dirt Tunnel?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, because you can get Flash and Tunnel, you can deny the flashes, but it's like, I don't know where else you'd put a Warden on this site.
Maybe you just looking suave. Plebsy all dressed up for the occasion of him winning this tournament, yeah? It is a little bit interesting. I'm definitely surprised that they're picking it. But if you can make it work, you can make it work. At least they're not throwing away that Echo, which did so well for them the round prior for it. What are they losing for it? I'm trying to think.
Oh, this is apparently NUEL's first R6 tournament.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that one. We've seen that in the history of university level Rainbow Six, Swansea, very good, and have won other tournaments prior to this. Jake. Again, hopefully doesn't mess up this breaching this time. Is going to be able to open it much, much better this time, right? At least open some of that. But yeah, this is much better done than they were prior.
Yeah, not wasting as much though, but like, it's like, well, I say that, but I don't know exactly.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't even gone yet. I'm surprised this
Yeah.
is. The thing is, right, is this just means that you're slowed down again,
Jake.
and we saw that time was really of the essence. How did you...
he gave up.
Oh my god! This is not what you want to see in the overtime of a final.
No. Jake he's under pressure, man. He's under the pressure. He's not taking the pressure well. He can't get that open. He's not playing to his best capability because he's too nervous. It's really unfortunate. And it's surprising they didn't bring the IQ either, because the Yokai last time was such a big influence on the round. Why not bring something like that?
That was
And that's a really good impact. That is a really good impact. That destroyed all the X-Kairos. Does he have any left?
Has one. And you're
One.
like, well, do I want to use it here now? Especially because
they only need three.
There aren't enough breaching torches as well to open up dirt. The impact doesn't get it this time. That's important.
No, that's unfortunate. So the impact doesn't come out. So at least they get that open, but the only thing they have open is Kitchen Hatch now. That's all they've opened.
They could drop nades through it at the very least, so at least it could do something for the team. As Hog drops a bunch of flashes through it.
Does Jake have tunnel open?
I don't. They might just about.
Did yours?
Yeah. Mine froze.
Did our?
I assume it did. Sorry about this problem. Hopefully it'll get sorted in just a second. But yeah, so if Jake has this open, it's fine. It's not the end of the world that you don't have that hatch open. But if he doesn't have enough left because of that mistake, this could look really, really bad for the for the attacking side, as it might really kind of stymie their ability to pressure on multiple angles.
Oh.
Sorry about that right at the problem. Right at the end of this series. Apparently our observer's internet just died, so it's sounding like we won't unfortunately be able to bring you the final of that.
Of that round,
yeah,
at least.
that-
We should
of that
be
round,
reconnecting.
sorry. Yeah.
We should be able to reconnect, hopefully. I think he should be able to reconnect if he resets his siege. But either way,
Absolutely.
apologies for the technical issues. We'll be back soon with those last two rounds. But either way, let's talk about what happened recently, though. It's been a really good take from Swansea, but they're starting to fall apart a little bit now.
Yeah, it's sad to see it. I mean, obviously, we can't really judge the current round, but we saw some a bit iffy plays, basically.
Yeah, it was like that first, because the big thing was that last round they could have taken. They had issues with time management. Again, you talked about time management was a big thing there. So they kind of just rushed it. They jumped down hatch. They go for the plays. They don't have Arsenal cleared, though. They had the shield in the back corner of Armory, just waiting for that push. On top of the Yokais, no IQ on the board. They didn't bring an IQ this round either, which is very surprising, though the Yokais were so powerful the round before.
Yeah, the yokai. I do love to see the fact that it was so relevant after we were talking about all that time, and the fact that they weren't using it prior. It was surprising to see. I don't know whether. The thing is, right, is if you don't make it to that point, it's obviously not as good, because we were actually seeing a lot of those rounds end relatively early. It was one of the two extremes. It was really early because they just frag out, and you know what, the utility didn't matter anyway. Or we'd go right to the very end, like for example that round where the smoke was really relevant. We saw the shots through the floor, where having that yokai would have been exceedingly relevant. But
So
really,
it looks like the attackers won that, or the defenders won that, unfortunately.
oh, sorry. We are right back in the game. Yeah, so yeah. Attackers won it.
So, one of the defenders won it. Sorry. So it looks like Lancaster on defense won that out. So they're now in lead now, but they're going back to attack now here on Church and Arsenal for our defense of Swansea. And Swansea's hadn't defended in a while, so maybe we'll see how they do here. It's been a while since we've seen them defend.
It do well. I'm so glad we got back in for this. I think the defenders have been kind of, especially on this site, have been generally good. As long as Hog doesn't completely mess up blue, I actually feel like we'll be going to 7-7, because this site's really good. They've got the yokai and everything we've asked from them, so they're just listening, and you know, I really appreciate that.
It's a bit difficult because we have Lane on Alibi, though, out of all characters.
That is a bit
We've
strange.
Yeah, we've seen LA played by other players. We've seen, if you know, mostly watch Pro League, we've seen Kanto Karadikati from G2 use it very well on this map, having the secondary Bailiff pistol or shotgun pistol, along with Impacts is a very powerful operator to run around with. It's a very good roamer. But again, roaming on church or roaming on Clubhouse is a very difficult thing to do.
It definitely is. I mean, at least with no Jackal really showing up, you can get away with a lot more. And at this point, no Nomad either, because neither of the teams have really been roaming at all because it's so difficult, as you highlighted.
Yeah, it's just one thing too. Like if especially roaming solo as well, it's not like a lot you can get out of, especially if you get pinched out very quickly. I guess yeah, again you said there's no Jackal, but still it's not like notable. And I don't see it actually
It's
above.
still
So it looks like are they playing on site as Alibi?
I mean, they're going for the Hall of Mirrors style play, if so. Hog. Oh.
Well, you said you don't want Hog to mess up, but that's it's already gone.
I mean, there was a lot of utility expended there. There's not much you can really do about Hog other than just running out of the position. If you do, you get shot. Like, it's just hard to deal with.
It's true, but like last time he was able to get out of that position and get into another corner of blue, so it's almost like he needed to do it earlier if he knew those ADSs were gone. I don't know if he tried to juggle ADSs and that's what the problem was, or what happened there, but being killed within the first minute and a half definitely not very good here for Swansea. Lancaster, they're looking good. Looks the Alibi is playing Garage actually, so there is a roamer.
There could be something. Wow, that is. Oh no, Lane doesn't find it. That is actually really sad because they don't find them. And actually, that could have been a really nice peak, but the team play was there from Lancaster to really net them something. They're not respecting the fact that Jake picks up 2 kills, almost finds a third, though Plebsy will find 2 of their own. It's 1 versus 3 after a magnificent series of plays from Jake here. It just wasn't quite enough. Mahi is downed, but Skilts is looking for an opportunity. The ping will come out. They're going to get the spray. They know that Skilts is now in blue, but the diffuser goes down. 40 seconds on the clock. They have a lot of time to work with. That Lancaster barely wins. I want to know how much health Jezian is on there as Lancaster win the round, win the map, win the series, and win the NUEL Winter Storm.
Oh boy.
8-6. 2-1 in terms of map score. Fantastic play across the board, but in the end, it will be down to Lancaster to win it out. And congratulations all around. They played fantastically.
Bog Boy, 17-11. Not too crazy from Coach and Plebsy, 11-13, but still, what a fragger for his team and just good work overall. And this Lancaster really bringing it back. They were suffering a lot of losses at the hands of Swansea, but they're able to adapt, bring it back, and actually win it out together. So first, the first R6 University League champions are your team, Lancaster.
Yeah, fantastic play from them to win it out. And they've been playing really well all seasons. Commiserations to Swansea, but I can't think of a more deserving team because Lancaster have just been so on top of it the whole season.
Very much so.
Of course, these games, this whole season, and everything in between have been brought to you by Republic of Gamers and Intel. Check out our Discord, discord.gg/the NUEL, to find out about unique events that you can get involved with at your university. And of course, Twitch student who also supports all the work that we do with students across the UK. Thank you very, very much for watching. I've been Rook, and with me has been Benny Owl, and good night.
I'm up in my head. I've been sitting here for too long. I'm stuck in my bed. I'm not tired, I'm trying to find out what's wrong. Time has passed on without a call. It feels too weird to ring up. I had cashed out by feeling love too soon to care, to keep can hear you far away. I can see you in the distance.